Welcome into Lion football here on the Lindenwood Sports Network as we are live at Harlan C. Stadium before a matchup for the Lindenwood Lions taking on the Washburn Ichabods in an MIAA matchup. I'm Scott Manziera alongside Seth Close. And Seth, we got a great matchup here today between the Lions and the Ichabods. What do you expect to see from both teams?
Well, I expect there to be a great gain in the offense for the Lions so far. I think they're going to continue to do what they did last game, which is put up somewhere in maybe hopefully in the 30s. And their offense is just going to be spread from the beginning, and they're going to be a quick-paced team. And
I expect to see just like that as well. I mean, last week they broke the rushing record for Lindenwood School, and it's been his school for a very long time, as they rushed for 417 yards, going up against a defense in Washburn who's a very good rushing defense. How are they going to be able to match up against that?
Well, they have two great running backs in Kalen Campbell and Shaquem Morton. And really, no one knew who really the starter was up until this coming week. And both of them they're both playing like they want to be starters. So if they continue to have that attitude and mentality, then they're going to be in for a great game.
And last week, they actually both alternated. Each possession, one guy came in, one guy came out. But we're going to go to a short break first, and then the Lions kickoff will be here next on the Lindenwood Sports Network.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. You're going to get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh, yeah. Yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
I dare you. I dare you to change the world. Yeah, you. Getting that college education.
I dare you to be somebody important.
Like be a teacher. Or a reality TV star.
I dare you to stand up here.
To call the shots.
To be a role model.
An inspiration. An innovator.
To be a teacher.
Think you can change my life?
Make me excited about science like you.
Have a career that really means something?
Then do it.
I dare you.
Welcome back here in Lindenwood Lions football as the kickoff is just moments away between this MIAA matchup between the Washburn Ichabods and your Lindenwood Lions. I expect to see a lot from quarterback Najee Jackson here in the first half as he's making his second career start here for Lindenwood, or second career start here at Harlan C. Hunter Stadium, I should say. His third career start as a Lion. And Seth, we saw him last week. He was running all over the place. How do you think he's going to match up against his defense?
Well, he's going to have to come in with a high mentality attitude, and he's just going to have to go with the play calls and hopefully find the right holes. It's going to be a huge task for the offensive line and the Lions to see how they come. They're going to be led by senior Akil Williams, who's had a tremendous career here at Lindenwood. And it's really going to come down to the line. You know that the running backs have the skill.
And you're seeing the Washburn Ichabods on the sideline. They actually have a ton of players in their team, more than the average team that comes here to Harlan C. Hunter Stadium. They have I think they have 78 players on the sideline for Washburn. It looks like they're bringing a lot of red shirts as well to get that full experience. But we are moments away here from the kickoff as Washburn is going to kick off the Lindenwood as they deferred to the second half. And the Lions will have a chance to score first. Beautiful night here at Harlan C. Hunter Stadium. A little warm, but gorgeous night, gorgeous turnout. A lot of fans here on both sides. Washburn travels very well. As the men back for Lindenwood, Bakari Triggs and Deshaun Warren. As the kick is off. And this game is off to a good start. Here comes Bakari Triggs on the return. Gets to the 20-yard line and then gets hit by a lot of Washburn defenders as one of his helmets popped off for the Ichabods. And the Lions will start off at the 22-yard line.
And as we mentioned, this offense is led by Najee Jackson, the quarterback. He's a junior out of Florida. And we will have Kalen Campbell and Shaquem Warren in the back with Deshaun Warren and D'Antrell Prince as the wideouts.
Washburn coming now with 4 defensive linemen. Looks like 3 linebackers. Jackson has Campbell to his right. 2 wide receivers lined up out wide. Play clock winds down as Jackson hands off to Campbell. Campbell's off to the races. He gets 12-yard gain to start off the game. Washburn only allowing 80 yards.
That's a great start.
Game. I mean, Kalen Campbell, that was a wide open lane for him just to run right through. Akeel Williams, as you mentioned in the open, he's actually playing center tonight. Normal center is out with an injury. Jackson in shotgun. Campbell lined out. Jackson pump fakes. He steps up and he's on the loose. He gets to the 38-yard line, picks up a 3-yard gain.
And Will Jones was on the play to make that tackle there, the outside end for the Washburn Ichabods.
Lions one wide out, lined up across the sideline, and you got two on the close side. Mason Bendigo, the tight end, in the backfield. Campbell goes in motion. Jackson takes the ball, and he throws it out to Campbell. It's a little, I guess, a halfback screen here, but on the wide receiver side of things, as he gets a little bit short of the first down mark up. That'll be a 6-yard gain.
And Kalen Campbell is going to prove early that not only is he a good rusher, but he's a good receiving back as well, so you'll be seeing him a lot running the routes.
3rd and short for the Lions. Ball is at the 43-yard line. They just need 2 to pick up this first down on this opening drive. Jackson tries the hard fake, does not work. Hard count, rather. And Warren lined up close side to us, and Prince on the far side. Man in motion is Kendall Sparks as he gets the jet sweep, and Bendigo pushes his man outside, but he ends up getting him in the backfield. It's going to be a loss of 1, bring up 4th down for the Lions.
And that was just a heads-up play there by Derek McGreevy for the Ichabods. He was all over that.
And it looked like Sparks was trying to get it to the outside. Bendigo was actually doing a great job at blocking his man outside, but he actually accidentally blocked him into his own man.
Yeah, you're taught as an outside DN to never let the guy get outside. You always want him to commit up the field.
It was a great job by the Ichabods defensive end, as Lindenwood has showed this look a little bit last week. They just hurry up to the offensive line and try to get the punt off, and it was a good punt. Going to pin him inside his own 25 as it is returned, and he's to the 30. He's got a blocker out in front of him. Now he's to the 40. There's only a few men to beat. He cuts it upfield. He gets to the 50, out to the 45 before he's met and tackled. And that's Will Bolster, a backup quarterback, on the return. Gets it all the way to the Lions' 43-yard line, so it almost was like the Lions went for it and didn't convert.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for the Lions because you want to put the pressure on Washburn's defense immediately because they've only allowed 13 points against this season the first 2 games.
As Washburn's offense will come on the field, led by Logan Tweehouse. Actually, Washburn runs with a fullback, and that's Michael Shirk. I'm interested to see how he's going to be, or how he's going to impact the game for the Ichabods, as Lindenwood hasn't seen another offense run with a fullback or 2 running backs at the same time.
Yeah, it's almost a dying breed, Scott.
Really is. As man goes out wide is Michael Stewart. He gets the ball on a swing pass. He's going to get a 4-yard gain, and I mistaked you, Seth. Logan Tweehouse is not starting this game. It is Blake Peterson, the sophomore.
And this is a great time for Peterson to prove himself and try and go out there only being a sophomore.
And Peterson was actually leading the team out of the gates, and we were talking about that, Seth. We're like, wait, Peterson's leading the team out. Maybe he's getting the start today, and
yeah.
he is starting quarterback for Washburn as it is 2nd and 7. Man in motion. A little read option as he hands it off to his running back. The Lions sniff it out, no gain on the play. That was Michael Stewart on the carry.
And that was Drew Sears on the tackle for the Lions. That was excellent just to stay at home and make that play right at scrimmage.
And Drew Sears' 2nd career start for Lindenwood. He is a true freshman. Only 3 true freshmen have seen the field this year for Lindenwood. 2 wide receivers out on both sides. He's got Stewart in the backfield. Peterson tries for the hard count. Looks back to the sideline to get a new play. 10 seconds to go on the play clock. 11:30 to play in this first quarter. Peterson looks outside, finds his tight end for a gain of looks like about 10, and he's going to pick up the first down, as that is Jace Williams on the catch.
That was a terrific throw by Blake Peterson. So timely, just right as he turned his shoulder. I mean, it was right in his bucket.
And that was perfect. I agree with you, because when he threw the ball, Williams wasn't even looking at him yet.
And that's when you know you threw a good route, when those guys, right when they turn their shoulder, they got the ball coming right at them.
It's got to be so tough, though. When you're running your route, you're thinking you're getting the ball, but you just never know. And it's right there. Has a little fake on that play. Peterson rolled out. Looked like it was going to be a quarterback sneak, but as soon as the Lions charged him, he tried to throw it outside to Stewart, and the pass was incomplete.
And the Lions' defense on the secondaries have established early that they're going to be playing cover 3 and they're going to be dropping back a lot. So they're going to have to work all those, inside routes and all the short 5 and outs. They're going to have to be able to stop that.
Yeah, they just have 2 linebackers, and Drew Sears and C.J. Bivens. They have 5 cornerbacks. Bakari Triggs leads them, the all-MIAA senior. He's number 2, lined up on the far side of the screen. As this is a jet sweep, it looked like it was a block in the back, no call, and he will take off all short of the first down as James Letcher Jr.
And that was a terrific run. That may have been a break right there. I thought I saw a block in the back as well, but nonetheless, an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, it looked like Hamilton just got behind Triggs and just fully extended his arms. Like you said, 3rd and 2. I formation, see fullbacks checking into the game for the Ichabods. That is Shirk. As they flip the sides, as Lindenwood defensive line also shifts. Peterson trying to make sure everyone's on the same page. He's under center. This time he hands it off to the tailback. And it looks like he's hit behind the line, and the Lions hold him. This will not be a first down, as Zach Willis was unable to get past that front 4 for the Lions.
And you can credit the whole right side there, because there are about 3 or 4 guys that made that play.
As it's going to be 4th and interesting, as I would say, 4th and 2. A little bit out of most college kickers' field goal range at the Division II level. It would be a 40-yard field goal from here.
Yeah, and Scott, if you're a Lions fan, this is a huge, huge stand to make right here. It could really make a statement if they can make this stop. You don't want to play catch-up with Washburn.
100%. Jonathan Harris trying to pump up the crowd, and we hear a lot of noise from the crowd. Peterson is under center, I formation. He pump fakes this time, or excuse me, play action. He's going to go for it himself. It's Ace Rogers on the outside, and I can't tell if he picked it up or not. The referee is not given the spot yet, but it was very, very close as Ace Rogers hunted out Blake Peterson. Looks like he might be short.
Short.
And he was. It's going to be Lions football as Peterson was unable to go out of bounds with the first down. The chains are on the other side of the field, so it must have been difficult for him to know.
Yeah, and Scott, the unsung hero right there on that play was the outside defender, Ricky McCoy. He was a lone man guarding the outside receiver for Washburn, and he made that. He took care of that curl pretty easy.
Yeah, and that's exactly where Peterson was thinking, and McCoy was all over him. That's a great point you bring up.
That's the problem when you only have one guy on the far side. That's your only option, and if he's not there.
It's kind of an all-or-nothing play. As Lions, huge defensive stop. Let's see what they do on offense. Shaquem Wharton checking into the game. As we said in the open last week, Campbell and Wharton were splitting carries every possession as Wharton is brought down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 1. Wharton actually led the Lions in rushing last week. Had over 100 yards in their 417-yard rushing game.
And he's also leading the offense with 2 touchdowns on the season so far.
Lions looking to get that touchdown. Getting a lot of touchdowns this game, I should say.
Yeah.
As Jackson gets it, he hands it off to Wharton again. Wharton gets brought down to the line of scrimmage, and this is kind of what I expected from Washburn, is them to crowd the box and force Najee Jackson to have to throw the ball, or beat them throwing, I should say. They know how good of a running game Lindenwood has.
Right.
And they know that they're a great rushing defense, so I expect them to crash the box and get one-on-ones on the outside.
Anytime a team gets 600 total yards, the next week the other team's going to have a say about it.
Yeah. You're not going to be, catching anybody off guard anymore.
Exactly.
Jackson gets the snap, drops back, steps up in the pocket, has pressure, he avoids it. He's on the run, and he slips and falls for an awkward knockdown with a Washburn player as he's going to be a yard short of the first down. Ball will be placed on the 30-yard line.
And that was a good effort by Jackson. He's going to be short here on 4th down. And I'll have to say they'll probably punt, being on so far in their end. But that is a good sign that he can scramble, and he made some moves.
That keeps the defense honest, that's for sure. But, I agree with you, Seth. You got to punt here. Even though it's 4th and inches and your own 30, You know, you just got to play a game of field position. There was a great punt the first time, and we're going to see another one as he boots it downfield, getting inside the 35. It's going to be a fair catch at the 35. Watch where Washburn will take over. Good punt by Michael Crowder. I think that was smart. I bet Crowder talked to the special teams coach and was like, all right, he had a great return last time. Maybe we should kick it higher, have a lot more hang time. Even though it won't go as far, he won't have a chance to beat us with a return.
Yeah, and he proved him last outing that, you know, he's got some wheels. He was quick, and he made a couple good moves. Great stand by the defense, though, for the Lions. We didn't point that out. The guy, the returner for Washburn got to about our 40-yard line, and we made a stand, so.
Yeah, they had outstanding field position and a very, very short field to work with. The Lions defense totally shut them down. And this is a Washburn Ichabods team that scored 14 points, my bad, against Northwest Missouri State just a week ago. And Northwest Missouri State, if you don't know, is the #1 team in the country. So this offense is no slouch, and this team is no slouch. They're a very good football team as they share a 1-1 record with Lindenwood. Both teams in the MIAA. As Washburn has a 3-2 advantage in the record department, but each game has been decided by a touchdown or less in their last 5 meetings. So it's going to be a good one today. Peterson will start under center. We've seen him in the shotgun, we've seen him under center, and every down. You never know what you're going to get from Peterson here. As he play actions, he loves to do it. And a great cutback route, and it will be a first down for the Ichabods. James Branya-Hop on the catch.
That was a terrific curl back on that last play. I actually thought he was going to go deep, and so did the defender for the Lions as well, but he made a good cutback after about 10 yards.
Yeah, Monty Hamlin on the coverage.
I'll tell you what, though, I can't look past Peterson. He's looked really calm his first few drives. And like you said, he can go behind the gun and right at the snap.
Yeah, a lot of different formations we're seeing from the Ichabods. As this time trips out left, it's Peterson. He throws it outside to his receiver. And Drew Sears wraps him up in the backfield for a loss of 1. The freshman had 10 tackles last week.
Great play by Drew Sears, and we've kind of been looking for a guy who's going to fill in Connor Harris's shoes here. Who's going to be that guy that steps up for linebacker? Well, Drew Sears has proved that now.
Great play. I mean, he totally sniffed that out, and Kerry Woods, one of the top receivers for the Ichabods offense, was held with no gain. Peterson, 2 running backs in the backfield. Got 2 wide receivers lined out wide, 1 in the close field. Oh, looks like a little bit of confusion for Zach Willis in the backfield as he is way behind the line of scrimmage. I think this is going to be an illegal formation.
Yeah, I think they're going to get 68. That would be Kyle Hinton, the outside guard for Washburn.
That's going to be a false start.
5-yard penalty
on Washburn.
Second down.
It's going to bring them back 5 yards. But, I mean, even if it wasn't a false start, it looked like a totally broken down play. Zach Willis had no idea where he was going. He ran closest to us on the side of the field. Then he started running to the other side, and he was about 10 yards behind the receivers. It's almost like he was running off the field. As Peterson's telling him to go to this side now. Peterson in shotgun. He pump fakes, throws it outside to his favorite target. That's Kerry Woods. Brought for no gain. It's going to be 3rd and long.
And a great defensive play by the Lions on the left side of the field to just swarm on that play. Anytime a guy gets the ball, you never know if they're going to pull up and throw. But they all immediately just swarmed right to their man.
And C.J. Bivens was on the tackle there.
Huge 3rd and long play here.
3rd and what looks like 16 for the Ichabods. Probably don't have too many plays in the playbook for this.
And Ricky McCoy still staying on the up. Now he's moving to cover 3. He was initially playing cover 1 up until now. 4
wide receivers lined up for the Ichabods, and even the running backs running a route. Peterson running outside. Arsante Connors is chasing after him, and he gets to him, forces him out of bounds, and an incomplete pass. Great play by the SEMO transfer, Arsante Connors.
Asante Connors, don't let him fool you. Even though he's a big guy, he's got some wheels. He was keeping up with Peterson from step to step.
I mean, that was a great play. I mean, Peterson had nowhere to go. Great coverage by Triggs and Ricky McCoy that you were talking about on the outside. There was absolutely nothing there for him.
Yeah, and the 3rd and long is what started all that.
Penalties are critical, as it's going to be a Washburn punt. Back to receive is Kendall Sparks, as he is not going to touch this one. It takes an Ichabod bounce at the 13-yard line, which is where Najee Jackson in the offense will take over. 5:13 to play in the first quarter, 0-0. I've seen a lot from both teams in these first couple possessions. I feel like you learn a lot from each team in this game by the way they start, because the offense for the Lions made a little bit of a push, had a strong running game to go to, and then for Washburn, they had a great start as well. But we'll see what the Lions do in this drive right here after this break on the Lindenwood Sports Network.
Think about your future. Jeff over there did, and just look at him. He saved up, bought a house, he's got a beautiful wife, they even had a fancy pants destination wedding, and oh, they had a baby! Ah! Smart and handsome, ooh la la. Now, I've been saving these frames for pictures of my future grandbabies for years, and the shopping sprees on organic clothing and telephone cases is not helping you save for a family. Oh, gracious! Look at that! He's a model! Oh. I bet you he's putting all that money right into a 401k or his baby's college fund. And his teeth are so straight. See how good saving can look at feedthepig.org. Feed the pig.
Sparks in motion as Jackson has the ball. He throws it outside. That's Deshaun Warren on the 8-yard pickup. And just the second completion by Jackson, if I'm correct.
Nice play by Deshaun Warren. He is a senior out of Overland Park, Kansas. So, he'll, with Family Day here, he'll be ready to go.
That's right. It is Family Day today. All the festivities have been going on leading up to this game. Great crowd here. Maybe even better than week 2, rather. Week 1 for the home game. As a read option by Jackson, he's going to pick up the first down and more. He's got great blocking on the outside from Dontrell Prince, I should say.
And this is what you want for a speedy quarterback. When you can run the option and sell a fake that well, you're going to get good yardage on the outside.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
We're going to see
Second
a
down.
penalty on the play.
The other big part is not being able to hold.
Yeah, I knew there was a reason that Jackson had such a wide open running room over there. Had to be a hold. It's going to be 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
And really, like we said, Scott, we know how good the backfield is for the Lions. It's going to come down to the offensive line. And like you mentioned, Nikhil Williams is not normally a starter, so guys like that are going to have to step up.
Yeah, he's starting in center. Normally he's actually starting at right guard. So
okay.
Keith Crawford is filling that role today. Jackson in shotgun. He gets a good block from Bendigo. Kalen Campbell's looking where to go. He cuts it back inside. Gets about a 2-yard gain. Going to bring up 3rd and long for the Lions as the clock ticks under 4.5.
And that was pretty much a wall there in front of Kalen Campbell. He tried to make something out of nothing and made a couple good cuts. But like we mentioned, this defensive line for the Ichabods are looking really good right now. They're proving why they only give up 13 points a game.
Only 20 last week to the number 1 team in the nation, as they only have 3 down linemen. They have 3 linebackers. As Jackson goes for the hard count again, they don't bite. He rolls outside. He's going to throw, and he finds his man Kendall Sparks for the first down. And there's a penalty on the play as it comes in the backfield behind Najee Jackson. We're going to see what the ref has to say.
We're going to tack it on, roughing the passer, 24.
Sounds like he said roughing
Personal
the passer.
foul, roughing the passer, number 24, defense. 15 yards from the end of the play, automatic first down.
Now, all of a sudden, that turns into a 10-yard completion to a 25-yard completion because the Lions are not going to have the ball around the 40-yard line. Critical mistake by the Ichabods.
Yeah, and anytime you make a personal foul like roughing the passer, unnecessary roughness, those are the ones that kill you because they're so easy to avoid.
Absolutely, as Jackson in the backfield with 2 running backs lined up next to him. One's Campbell, one's Sparks. Sparks rolls outside. They actually give the ball to Campbell as the D lineman had him in the backfield but couldn't wrap him up. And the cornerback is Nick Foster comes up with the play for a gain of 2.
Great play by Nick Foster. He stayed low, and that's what you do when you're a quarterback with some small size. You always want to go after the knees or the shins. It was a good play.
Great tackle. It almost looked like that his man in the backfield was going to get him, and that was Brad Breckenridge. As, like I said, the Ichabods only have 3 down linemen. As this is a read option, and Kendall Sparks got cracked in the backfield. But Najee Jackson picks up about 15.
And it looked like Derek McCreevy, who made a big play earlier in the last drive, had a few words to say to Sparks, I believe. He cracked him.
We have an injured Ichabod on the field. Austin Tillman down, and we're going to take a short break here on the Lindenwood Sports Network. We won't play another one, Seth. We won't play another one, just one. But don't call another one. Oh, you don't have to hit the open again. That opens just one time, like when the game starts. It's the only time you ever hit the open.
Is really what's making it happen.
As soon as you think that Najee Jackson's going to run it or he's going to throw it, Kalen Campbell just punches it down your throat.
Speed kills.
As 2 receivers and Prince and Warren lined up on the far side. Sparks in motion. This time he hits Sparks. Good block from Prince on the outside. And Sparks is going to pick up 3 yards. As a good tackle by Peter Fanenstyle.
Fanstyle made a great play to just come up and get right in there. I think he got a little bit out of his spot where he was normally supposed to be, but, man, that was a great play. That's exactly what you want. He's got good size for a secondary player as well.
And Prince was making a good block, just couldn't keep it long enough. As a minute 36 left in this first quarter in a 0-0 game. Mason Bendigo's in motion. As Jackson gets the ball, drops back to pass. Looking for his receiver. And he gets a flag. As we'll see another 2 flags come into play in the area of pass interference on Deshaun Warren.
Yeah, and
he was unable to make the catch.
Looks like they're going to get Josh Wright on this one for he was holding Deshaun Warren when he tried to make his 10-and-out route as he tried to cut outside.
As the referees are conversing, we'll get the call.
Holding, number 7, defense. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Good call on that one, Seth.
Yeah, and you got to give credit to Deshaun Warren, too. He sold it pretty well. A lot of times when guys get grabbed or they're held, they usually just kind of give up on the play and won't get the call. But Deshaun kept trying to run. He continued to try and run the route, and the ref noticed right away.
As now the Lions are in the red zone. First time either team has been inside the red zone tonight in this first quarter with a minute 22 to play. As Jackson's in shotgun, where he is most comfortable. He drops back to pass. He pump fakes on the outside. He's getting pressure. He tries to dump it off to Kalen Campbell as he was inside the tackle box. Will not be
no foul for intentional grounding. Number 30 was in the area.
Yeah, unfortunately, Campbell was right there to make sure, since he was an eligible receiver, there was no intentional grounding. Otherwise, there would have been.
As the referee is coming in to make a call.
Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 14 seconds. 1:14.
The game clock mix up. It's
Thank
back
you.
to 1:14 instead of 1:06. As you can hear the crowd getting very loud for the Lions, as it's going to be 2nd and 10, ball on the 15-yard line.
Great atmosphere here.
See Prince on the closest side, Campbell and Sparks in the backfield. Najee Jackson, the quarterback. He gets it, he hands it off to Sparks. He's really speedy. He gets inside the 10-yard line and down to the 8-yard line. Going to be 3rd and 4. And the kicker for the Lions has actually made 9 straight extra points. This is a little bit farther than the extra point, but you got to think if it's 4th down around this area, you trust Travis Sproul to make the kick. Or excuse me, Barrett Foley is the kicker, my bad.
And if you can get 2 or 3 yards on this carry, they may be able to go for it with their run game as good as they are.
Be interesting to see what Stugart comes up with in his 3rd game as the coach of the Lindenwood Lions. Jackson gets it, throws it outside. It's Warren. He tries to make a one-handed snag, but it's going to be a penalty. I'm guessing it's going against the Ichabods, as it was in the area of holding, and it's going to go to Corey Ballantyne. Looks like a quick call.
Pass interference. Number 1, defense. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball's placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
If you're Ballantyne in that play, though, you can't let Warren make the catch, because then it's a touchdown. At least now you have 3 chances, 4 chances maybe, to stop the Lions from the 2 rather than just giving Warren the touchdown there.
Yeah, now you got plenty more chances with this running game, you know.
As Jackson in shotgun from the 2-yard line, hearing a lot of offense chance. Kendall Sparks on a jet sweep. He cuts it upfield, and he gets into the end zone. It's going to be waiting for the signal. And they're saying it is Washburn's ball. The Washburn players are celebrating like it is, have not seen an official call, as they're trying to get players out of it. I thought Sparks was in.
I thought he was too before he lost the ball.
They're going to say 2nd down, actually. Let's
Whirling on the field as the runner was down. It's 2nd down.
Wow, that is very, very surprising. I thought Sparks dove into the end zone. He was even outstretching the ball.
I find that hard to believe. I feel like either he scored or that was a fumble, because I never saw him down. Until he hit the ground, he was in the end zone.
I'm going to have to agree with you here on Seth, but I guess it doesn't matter. 2nd down, Lindenwood still has the ball. That's the most important part. It's at the half-yard line as the Lions will stay in shotgun. Campbell and Sparks in the backfield. Sparks in motion. Looks like they faked the same play as it's sniffed out by Washburn, and Jackson throws it out of bounds. As it's going to bring up 3rd down, but it's also going to bring us to the end of the first quarter.
No foul for intentional grounding.
After the first
Number
quarter,
6
it
is in the
0-0
area. That's the end of the
in this
first
MIAA
quarter.
matchup, as we'll head to the 2nd quarter right after this on the Lindenwood Sports Network.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
On the Lindenwood Sports Network and 89.1 The Wood. 15 minutes to go in the second quarter because we haven't even started it yet. As we're about to start second quarter action, 0-0, Lions and Ichabods. And Seth, we saw in the first quarter a lot of good from Lindenwood. I mean, they had a great stop on a fourth down on their own 30-yard line after a great punt return. And then on the offensive side of the ball, they have 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and really, I think the offense is feeding a little bit off this defense. When you see them make a stand like that, when they only give up 10 to 15 yards on a drive, it's really given this side of the field a lot of momentum. The Lions are really in check right here.
As we're seeing Prince high-five one of our players that was playing in the during the halftime game. Halftime game, I should say, in between quarters. And I was even telling you halftime. I'm all over the place, Seth. I apologize to you.
Really, the biggest thing for the Lions, though, is that they need to find their identity. Obviously, their run game is good, but it seems like the Washburn has really picked out a few of their plays.
As hopefully they don't pick up one of their plays here, as in shotgun for the Lions. See here, if I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm on the 1-yard line. I'm lining up an I formation. QB sneak it. He had 1st and goal here as Kalen Campbell will take it, and no question about it, he's in the end zone for 6. That's how we start the second quarter with a Lindenwood Lions lead, 6-0.
Great gap. That was huge for Campbell to go in and get the score. And he's pointing up to the sky right now.
As great play from Campbell, and even better play call from Coach Stugart. As the Lions take an early 6-0 lead in the second quarter. And the extra point is up, and it's good. That's 10 in a row for kicker Travis Sproul. As I was right the first time earlier, Seth. 7-0 Lions lead, and what a great drive. They started on that drive on their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, there were a few third downs, too, where they really had to come through. And Ajay made a few good runs. Deshaun made a few good routes, and he got the call with a few, which was just from great route running, really.
And an updated stats report for you. Kalen Campbell, 4 rushes, 35 yards. Najee Jackson, 4 rushes, 27 yards. And a little bit of a surprise for me, Shaquem Warden, 2 rushes, 0 yards, was the Lions' leading rusher last week. Has only played in 1 possession, though.
Yeah, and if you can only imagine how good they'll be if they can get him going. And it's just good to see how diverse their running game is.
I mean, already 62 yards in the first quarter, and this is a Ichabod team that averages giving up just 80 rushing yards a game in the first 2 games this season.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how good the running game was between the first 2 games that they played, but I have to imagine this has been their toughest competition.
100% as the Lions lead the MIAA in rushing yards per game. And a lot of the offensive categories for that matter. I won't read through all of them for you, but their offense has been very, very good this season. As this time it's Barrett Foley off the kick. His first boot of the game is a good one as he gets all the way inside the 10-yard line, and that is Ballantyne on the return. He tries to stretch it outside as he gets to the 25 and stops and meets some Lions and breaks some tackles. Gets inside the 22. Forward progress to bring him to the 26. And that's where Blake Peterson and the Ichabods will take over. .46 to play in the second quarter. Lions have their first lead of the game and the only points scored tonight. Peterson and Stewart in the backfield. 2 receivers closest to us, 1 on the far side. Peterson gets the snap, hands it off. Gets about a 4-yard gain before meeting a lot of Lions linebackers and defensive line. Looks like C.J. Bivens was on the tackle.
Yeah, we haven't seen many runs from the Ichabod so far, but that was a good carry for 4.
Yeah, the Ichabod's only 10 rushing yards in the first quarter. Lions have 62. Peterson drops back the pass, throws a little quick slant out. That's going to be good enough for the first down. Austin Hubert on the catch. Oh, excuse me, that's not a first down. That's going to be short, about inches. A little interesting spot. They moved it back even farther. Did you see that, Seth? He had it on the line, and then he moved it back.
Home field advantage.
3rd and inches for the Ichabod's. They're going to hand it off to the big man, and he is going to be held, right on the line. 2 flags come in. As we saw the Lions, Antonio Davis throwing his hands up. So I think he may have been held.
Holding, number 55, offense. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Now all of a sudden, instead of 3rd and inches, it would have been a first down.
Right.
Now it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, it's crazy how football works. If you get that extra inch or so, then it's a first down and it's 1st and 20. You can live with that. But now you're facing 3rd and long again after a good 3 plays that you just made.
Absolutely. As Lions a little late with the substitution, but it won't cost them. 2 receivers closest to us, one on the far side of the screen, Peterson and shotgun. Tries to the hard count, get a little extra yards. Didn't work in the Lions defense. 13:30 to play in this second quarter. As man in motion is the tight end. Peterson drops back the pass. He throws it. Almost picked off by Drew Sears. As he hits the turf in frustration, he breaks up the pass. The true freshman almost had his first interception of his collegiate career.
And his teammates are going around him to consult him there. That was a great play. It's hard when you're trying to keep up with one receiver and the ball's going another way. He almost just got the luck of the draw there.
May have been a pick 6 if he was able to hold on to it, but great play by Sears. As we're going to see a Washburn punt. And it's actually a great one. Inside the 20-yard line is Kendall Sparks. As he's going to try to return, and he's to the 30. He's all the way up to the 35-yard line. That's where Najee Jackson and Shaquem Warden will take over for the Lions.
A great stand by the Lions defense right there. This is exactly what you want. You want to keep the Lions offense out there and get their momentum going.
And we'll be right back after this short break here on the Lindenwood Sports Network.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Into the Lindenwood Sports Network here on 89.1 The Wood. As the Lions have a 7-0 lead, 13-10 to play in the half. And the Lions offense is back onto the field. This time Shaquem Wharton, the running back in. Kalen Campbell sit out. As Najee Jackson gets the ball, rolls outside to the right, throws it down. It's Prince. He catches it, and he's on the move. He breaks a tackle and gets inside the 30-yard line. The longest play from scrimmage tonight from either team, a 32-yard gain for the Lions.
And the defensive back for Washburn had a little bit of a slip up there, and Jackson took full advantage of that. Great throw.
And just as good a catch as Prince. As you see that, he just snags it in the middle of his route and tries to break a tackle. Good recovery by the defensive back to make the tackle. As Jackson's in shotgun, he hands it off to Wharton, and he's got a hole, and he breaks one off for about 8 yards, his longest of the day. A 7-yard gain for Wharton.
And Scott, you see when a team, even for Washburn, when there's a big play made, that's when you see the offense start flowing. That's when the running game starts getting open. That's when guys start making, a couple extra steps and doing stuff.
And that's when the Ichabods have to start guessing.
Yeah.
If you're just running the ball over and over, then it gets much, much harder for them to have to, guess. And they just pack the box. And that's what they're doing here is 8 men in the box for the Ichabods. As they bring the house, it's Jackson. He stays in the pocket and almost caught by Deshaun Warren. It'll be an incomplete pass, as that one would have been about a 20-yard strike.
And you see Najee Jackson pointing to Deshaun saying, hey, that's me. That was my fault. He underthrew him a little bit right there with the wide-open Deshaun Warren.
If he leads him a little bit, Warren might have gotten into the end zone.
Yeah.
as now it's going to set up a 3rd and 4 for the Lions.
You see the leadership, though, by Jackson. That's good to say, to take the accountability.
Oh, 100%. That's what you need in a quarterback and as a leader, as
Right.
you just said. Prince and Sparks lined up on outside, Wharton in the backfield. Jackson gets the snap. He throws it a little bit low for Kendall Sparks. Good coverage on the outside by Fanninsteel.
And there's Fanninsteel again. He's a big guy right there, and he's a good coverage defensive back, too, or an outside linebacker, rather.
As the Lions fans are getting loud, it's 4th and 4 on the 22-yard line. Looks like they're going to go for it. Kind of in that awkward position because, you know, it's like I said, 40-yard field goal is a little bit out of the kicker's range. As Stugart has more trust in his offense here. They've been moving. Jackson gets the ball. He hands it off to Wharton. Wharton gets the first down and more. Gets inside the 15-yard line. The Lions are in the red zone. Another 9-yard pickup by Shaquem Wharton.
Excellent play. Excellent play call, even. Just the Washburn defense thought that they were going to run outside. You saw both defensive ends try and go around their guards, and it was perfect right up the middle.
I mean, how many times do you trust your team on 4th and 4 to run the ball?
Right.
I mean, never in a million years would I have a team, think about running the ball on 4th and 4. I mean, that's just a great play call, and it was great execution by Wharton, who did not have a stellar first quarter, but he has bounced back very nicely this drive, all the way up to 30 rushing yards this drive alone. As he breaks a tackle, actually gets brought down in the backfield. Washburn did a good job at sniffing that play out, as it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 16.
And that was a classic case of, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. They tried to run the same play, and they were all over that.
You are not kidding. 11-10 to play in the half. Lions with a 7-0 lead, trying to add on to that. Ball is on the 17-yard line. Jackson's in shotgun. He's going for the end zone. He's got Prince, and he overthrows him by just a yard or two, as that was almost a touchdown for the Lions.
And Prince was trying to throw it where only his receiver can catch that in the corner of the end zone, but unfortunately led him just a little bit too wide. And a big 3rd down coming up here from what looks like to be the 18-yard line.
10:55 to play in the half. Lions looking to add on to their lead. 3rd and 10. As Sparks in motion, Jackson pump fakes him. They bring the house. It looks like a halfback screen as Shaquem Wharton is unable to make the catch. 4th and 10 from the 17-yard line. It looks like kicker Travis Sproul is going to come out and try to attempt a 35-yard field goal. As this is interesting here. I mean, obviously it's a clear field goal situation. You're a little bit closer. 4th and 10 is a little bit longer than 4th and 4.
Right.
As Sproul looks to add on to this Lions lead. Good snap, good hold, good kick. It is up, and it is right through the uprights. A 10-0 lead for Lindenwood with 10:47 to play in this first half. As when we return, we'll see what the Lions do as they're going to kick the ball off to the Ichabods right here on the Lindenwood Sports Network.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Welcome back into the Lindenwood Sports Network for Lions football here in 89-1 The Wood, as the Lions just extended their lead to 10-0 here in the first half, as their defense has looked great and the offense looks even better after they had an explosive game against Northeastern State last week. Actually, Washburn and Lindenwood's only wins of the season are against Northeastern State. Of course, they're from Tahlequah, Oklahoma. As we'll see Sproul kick this one off, and it's a good one inside the 5-yard line. As the return will come on for Washburn. They've had a good return game so far. He's to the 20, and he gets stopped. That's Grady Daniels on the tackle for the Lions, as Josh Wright was trying to break it off for a big one. We'll see Peterson come out on the field again for the Ichabods. I have not seen Logan Tweehouse on the sideline. Unsure of why he is not playing today. Good crowd here on hand for the Lions. Outstanding student section who stands in between the uprights. That's how it was so easy to tell for that field goal.
Yeah, they're really bringing it today for the atmosphere. It's good to see.
Oh, outstanding to see here, as the Lions are 1-0 at home this season. It is called by Peterson. He fakes the pitch, and he breaks a tackle on the outside, and Drew Sears will bring him down for a gain of 5, as he was almost brought down at the line of scrimmage by Kawan Street.
That was a terrific play by Colin Street to stay at home. He didn't go anywhere. He didn't even bite for the fake, and he knew it was almost like a QB spy for him.
As Kawan Street is in for C.J. Bevins, who normally starts this possession that we've seen today. We see him on the sideline right now. As this ball is handed off to their tailback, it's Stewart. Gain of about 2. As Ace Rogers totally threw down Will Hamilton on the far side as he was trying to get a penalty against Ace Rogers. But it was just a good block. Just pancaked him. As it's 3rd and 5 now for the Lions. The stadium is getting loud. It is another big one for the Lions. They've been able to hold Washburn on 3rd down tonight. As Peterson gets the snap, he throws it to his tight end, and he barely makes the catch. Hit him in the chest, bounced off, and then came up to his hands.
Yeah, it almost looked like he threw it up to himself just to get a couple extra yards.
It will be a 1st down for the Ichabods at the 40-yard line.
It's a great play by the offense, but if you're on the Lions defense, you got to make that stand, just because if you're staying on 3rd down every single time, it's going to add up and you're going to get tired.
As you saw the bobble right there by the tight end and Jace Williams. Peterson in shotgun, his man in motion. He hands it off for a jet sweep. He tries to get outside. Ace Rogers forces him in, but he still picks up a 10-yard gain and a 1st down. That was what you were talking about earlier, Seth, about the outside cornerback forcing him inside, but there was nobody there to make the tackle.
Yeah, and it's usually it comes down to the safety right there. The cornerback is always taught to never let the guy bounce outside of you, because you're the last man on the outside half.
And that was Letcher Jr. on the carry. Not many carries in his first 2 games of the season. As Peterson now in the I formation, he hands it off to the tailback, and he's going to pick up about 6 yards. The Ichabods are moving the ball very swiftly after that 1st down they picked up. And we're going to see the front 4 starters come back into the game for the Lions. That includes Jonathan Harris and Arsante Connors, as we see a Washburn Ichabods offensive lineman down on the field. And that is their center, Colton Dungle. 8:35 to play in the half, as, like I said, Washburn's offense was moving it swiftly on them, Seth.
Yeah, and just like what you saw there, when they get a couple plays and make a few good passes, it opens up their running game just like it did for the Lions offense. You know, that 5-yard gain right there, if they don't make that completion the first pass, it could have been a no gain or a 1-yarder.
Keeping the Lions guessing on defense just like the Lions are doing to the Ichabods offense.
Yeah, and it all starts with the run game.
It is a very critical part of football is the run game. Being able to establish that opens up play action as well. As Dunkel's going to get some help off the field from the trainer. Defense back onto the field for the Lions. Offense for the Ichabods still in a huddle. Ball is on the Lindenwood 45-yard line with 8:35 to play in the first half.
And this will be interesting to see if Washburn can get on the board before the half, because if they don't convert here, then there's a good chance they won't get it again if the Lions can keep their high-paced offense up.
It's going to be interesting to see if Peterson tries to go to the air again after he had a great big completion to his tight end Williams just a few plays ago.
Yeah, and Williams has really been stepping up this drive so far.
As the Ichabods are in shotgun, it's Peterson. He drops back to pass. He looks at his man, and he completes the pass. Looks like a 4-yard gain. And the referee is pointing towards a first down, as it's going to be a 1st and 10 for Peterson and the Ichabods.
And that was Marcus Meyer on the grab for the Ichabods.
I mean, Peterson just looks so composed in the pocket. As soon as he catches it, he doesn't look nervous. He doesn't look anything. He just, he looks very composed.
He looks like a starter.
He looks like a starter, you're right. Just a sophomore. 6'2", 195 is Peterson. He drops back to pass, throws on the outside. He's wide open. Drew Sears is hawking after him, and he grabs him and brings him down at the 44-yard line. Kerry Woods on the reception.
Great play by Kerry Woods. He got a little recovery speed there and made the play.
And we saw Peterson target him a lot in the first quarter. And he was unable to break one off big. Woods, very, very speedy slot receiver for the Ichabods. A lot of big bodies that we've seen Peterson target 2 tight ends just this drive. As Peterson's in shotgun. He feels pressure, and it's Arsante Connors. Oh, excuse me, it is not Arsante Connors. I am sorry, it is that Jonathan Harris on the tackle? Oh, no, it's Antonio Davis. 3rd time's a charm, Seth. Antonio Davis on the sack, pressured by Harris and Connors.
I was trying to help you out. I couldn't tell, though. He was jumping around so much.
They are excited here at Harlan C. Hunter Stadium, just like all these fans. It is going to be 3rd and long for the Ichabods, 3rd and 12 to be exact, from the Lindenwood 40-yard line, almost in no punt territory. So you might see us be 4 downs. This is a 2-possession game as well. 6:40 to play. He drops back as Peterson. He throws it inside, and Bakari Triggs almost has the interception as he runs off the sideline in frustration. As it's going to be 4th and 12. Bakari Triggs very, very upset with himself as the punt team will come onto the field for Washburn.
That was a terrific stand. I think that sack really got the momentum going right there. That's exactly what you needed.
As Kendall Sparks is going to be the man deep. It's a deep punt. Looks like it might get in the end zone. And it will. Right smack in the middle of the end zone as the Lions will take over at the 20 with a 10-0 lead and 6:35 to play in the half. Well, who have you liked more tonight, Seth? Have you liked Kalen Campbell running the ball or Shaquem Wharton? Because Wharton had a great drive last time.
Yeah, that's a tough question to ask. They both really impressed me. I'm more of a speed guy, so I like Sparks. I just like the way that he runs the ball and stuff. But Campbell's good too. He's got some good size, and he's got really agile hips for being a big guy.
Him and Wharton are very strong. Sparks has been very effective on the jet sweeps. As Jackson's in shotgun lines, we'll have to go 80 yards here to get in the end zone. 6:35 to play in the half. As Sparks is in motion, Jackson hands it off to him, and he gets about a 5-yard gain before getting brought down at the 25-yard line. Alvin Houston on the tackle, a Lafayette High School alum here in St. Louis, Missouri. Offense. 2 wide receivers closest to us. That's Warren and Sparks. Far wide receiver is Dontrell Prince. Mason Mendigo in at tight end. Najee Jackson, your quarterback. He sees a man coming from unblocked, almost got hit, but he found Sparks, and Sparks is off. He gets to the 40-yard line. What a play, because I saw the linebacker in Peter Fannensteel jump right at Jackson. He got completely unblocked because Campbell went out of the backfield, and I thought Jackson was going to get smoked.
Yeah, and I thought it was Corey Ballantine, number 1 for the defensive back for Washburn, was going to come after him because he left his man to try and go after Sparks. Sparks is a speedy one, isn't he?
Yeah, he really got away from him. And as soon as he catches it, you hear me, I'm talking about he's off because he's so fast and he's explosive after he gets the ball. As Jackson drops back to pass, can't find his man, breaks the tackle, but is going to get sacked. It's going to be a loss of 3 on the play. First time that Jackson has been sacked tonight. Lions offensive line actually leads the MIAA in making sure that Jackson doesn't get sacked.
Yeah, and this is what the Ichabods are good at. They never panic, it seems like, in a big play. They always stay to themselves, and that was a big play right there.
And the offensive line has to stay composed as they only have 3 defensive linemen, I should say, coming after him, but they always got to be able to pick up that blitz. 5 linebackers out there for the Ichabods. As Warren on a jet sweep, great block by Sparks, sets up that whole play, and it's going to be an 8-yard pickup as it's going to be 3rd and 4. Great play by Warren. But what a block by Sparks. Did you see him get low? He's going to come out of the game for a play. But that was a great play.
Yeah, it's what you got to do. You just got to put yourself out there and
just got to get low.
Yeah.
As Jackson's in shotgun, 2 receivers lined up on the far side. The close one is Warren. Mason Bendigo in motion, switches over to the other side. It's 3rd and 4. Jackson gets the ball. He fakes the handoff. He drops back. The pass is getting pressured, and there is a flag in the area of pass interference against Deshaun Warren. That was Ballantyne on the coverage as Jackson felt the pressure. We'll see what the ref has to say in a moment. Still conversing are the referees.
There were 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Holding number 7, that penalty's declined. Holding number 1, that penalty's accepted. 10 yards, first down.
10 yards and a first down for the Lions as it keeps the drive alive. Another costly penalty by the Ichabods to keep the Lions' drive alive. As those third downs have been so important. There's been a ton of third downs tonight. I mean, both defenses are playing great and forcing them to go deep into the possession as there's 4:10 to go in the half.
Yeah, and that was a tough play by Washington's defense. You know, you're trying to look at the ball and not trying to get involved with tripping the player up.
Couldn't let Warren make the catch as Prince is in motion, trips right now for the Lions. Jackson sees something he likes, and he throws it outside to Prince on a wide receiver screen. He makes a good move, makes 2 moves, only picks up about 1 yard on the play. But it looked like Washburn had that pretty much sniffed out as 3 Ichabods were coming right at Prince as soon as he made the catch.
And DeAntro Prince got around 1 guy and then tried to get around 2 or 3 more, but almost backtracked a little bit. It seemed like he probably should have just went down after the first guy.
Tough play to make as it brings up 2nd and 10.
It's always good to see guys trying to take chances, though, in this kind of game.
Man in motion is Prince again. Maybe the same play. Jackson gets the ball, rolls out to his left. He's on the move. He throws it outside, does not get a hit, and is a little outside the reach of Kendall Sparks. It's going to bring up 3rd and long. Gonzalez was actually in the backfield as Jackson was rolling out. Jackson very, very good on the outside. But look at these students out here. I mean, we got some face paint. We got a sign that says, "We want Bama." Number 1 team in the country for college football.
Let's worry about this season first, and we'll talk about that.
I love the Bama sign. That is just great. Great students here at Lindenwood. Great student section. As 2 receivers lined up closest to us, 2 on the far side, 1 in the backfield. Jackson drops back the pass. It's 3rd down. He sees Prince open, and he's tackled by Alvin Houston as he brings him out of bounds at the 23-yard line, but not before Prince picks up the first down.
That was a great throw, Scott, and you could tell, I think Jackson picked up right away that was a cover 2 defense, so everyone all stayed in their zone, and he got, and the receiver got out in an open spot for him to get the reception. You
are right, Seth, and more importantly, a first down for Lindenwood. As trips left for the Lions, and it's a high snap. Jackson tries to get on top of it. He does. He was originally going to try to pick it up and make some play out of it, but that's going to be a loss of 9. And as we talked about earlier, Akil Williams in the game at center for the Lions, not the normal center on this Lions offensive line.
Yeah, and he's done well up to this point. You know, it's maybe just a botch snap, but at least it wasn't deep in our territory where it led to a safety or something. He's still got a good drive going here.
Robert Hester Jr. is checked into the game for the Lions. He's on the far side, the receiver 1-on-1 on the outside. As it is going to be a run play to Kalen Campbell. We haven't seen much running this drive, and that was the first time, a little weird time to go with a run play on 2nd and 21. There's going to be no gain on the play. 2:15 to play in the half. Maybe coach just wants the clock to run a little bit more.
Yeah.
So in case they don't get the 2nd and 21 or the 3rd and 21, then Washburn doesn't have any time to come back.
Yeah, regardless of what happens on the outcome of this drive, at least you're going to the halftime locker room with, your team's up 13-10-0 with a goose egg on the other team's board.
Absolutely.
Timeout, Lindenwood.
It's going to be a timeout, Lindenwood. Timeout, Lindenwood, with 1:44 to play in the half. 3rd and 21 coming up for the Lions. Seth, in your playbook as an offensive coordinator, what are you going with here?
I'm going to try and go for maybe a 10 out or something where you're not trying to go to the end zone. If you have an opportunity, then that's great. But really, I would just try and get a good position for this kicker to try and get the field goal, because they are going to get the ball going into the second half.
That's true. We have seen a 37-yard field goal made already by Travis Sproul tonight. Right now, you're looking at about a 51-yarder, which is out of most kickers' range. So I don't know if that would be if an incomplete pass happens or a run happens, where you're going to have much help. Maybe you try to flush a timeout from the Ichabods and you try to run play here from Kalen Campbell.
Yeah.
I mean, but I agree with you. You can't go for the end zone here, I don't think, because, I mean, that's high risk. You got to expect that the Ichabod's defense is going to be planted in the end zone to make sure you don't pick up a first down.
Right.
You're keeping everything in front of them.
Right. Try get the necessary points and don't try and force anything.
Exactly. And the Ichabods have 3 timeouts remaining. I was looking at that student section, just so excited.
And even though Travis Sproul is short, he's got a good foot. He cleared that one by a good 15 yards in his last kick.
I want to see the 10 and out here, Seth. I want to see it, and I want to tell you that you're right. 1:44 to play in the half. Empty backfield for Jackson as Warren is on the move. It's going to be a jet sweep, and he's got some running room. He picks it up, and he gets inside the 15-yard line. It's going to be close. A unfavorable spot for the Lions as the referee says he was down at the 15. I thought he may have gotten to the 14 as we're going to take another look at this one. Look at this replay here. Great job by the guys in the control room. Warren takes the contact, stays on his feet, gets brought down. I don't know, Seth. That looks like about the 14.5-yard line. We're going to see a 4th down here. It's Najee Jackson trying to go for the hard count. It doesn't work initially. 15 seconds left on the play clock. 1:09 to play. This might be perfect because the Lions might take a timeout with 1 second left and then have the low game clock for the Ichabods and kick the field goal. What a play call by Coach Stugart for Warren. As they will not do that, they'll hike it with 1 second to go. Jackson throws it outside to Sparks, and he makes the catch. And it's going to look, it looks like a first down, but again, not a good spot by the officials. He may have came up short. As Sparks kicking himself, saying that he didn't get it, it doesn't look like he is very excited about the spot as well. As it's going to be a first down for the Ichabods, I am very surprised. Both of those spots were very questionable.
Wow.
I can't believe it's Washburn's ball with 52 seconds to go in the half.
That is a tough break for the Lions. I thought he had it.
I also thought, I mean, Jackson made a great throw. Only place that someone was going to be able to catch it was Kendall Sparks. As 52 seconds to go, Peterson will come onto the field with 3 timeouts. Doesn't look like too much arguing from the sidelines. As Peterson drops back to pass, he feels the pressure, he gets flushed out of the pocket, and he makes a good move. And then he gets hit from behind, not forward, picking up a first down with 45 seconds to go.
That was good juking and jiving there by Peterson. Looked like the defensive tackle had a chance, but Peterson made a nice move there at the line of scrimmage.
.36 seconds to go. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Ichabods. As they have the ball on the 25-yard line. Lions playing a little bit off the ball, trying to keep everything in front of them. Peterson gets the ball in shotgun. He looks to throw, throws in the middle of the field, and it gets broken up. And that is Ricky McCoy on the pass breakup, as he says, I don't think so.
And we've been calling Ricky McCoy's name quite some time. He's been just a tremendous lockdown corner this half.
And the Peterson has not really targeted anybody that's getting covered by a cornerback. The tight ends are usually covered by linebackers. These cornerbacks and DBs for Lindenwood are very, very good as a flag comes into the play.
Very versatile.
As we'll see what the referees say.
Sideline warning, Washburn.
A sideline warning next time. Washburn gets a 5-yard penalty for being too close to the field.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, you have to be about 2 to 3 yards behind the white line. Otherwise, you're quote-unquote interfering with the game. So that's a sideline warning for Washburn. That's why they got it.
And there's a white box. That's a great insight there, Seth. As Peterson drops back into shotgun, Arsante Connors is coming at him. He got held a little bit, and he's going to be tackled at the 22-yard line. 25 seconds to go. I wonder if Stuttgart calls a timeout. As it's going to bring up 4th down, and he is going to call a timeout. A little bit surprised with the 10-0 lead, but I guess now you got to force Washburn to have a good punt here.
Lindenwood, second charge.
As Kendall Sparks has already had a good return, the Ichabods are going to have to punt.
Terrific play on that last one by Drew Sears there. He's looking like a senior out there, the way he's playing. He's been terrific.
I mean, he looks very, very comfortable.
It seems like, every other play we're either calling his name or McCoy's. They've really been leading the team so far.
It's been outstanding from the defense all over the ball. And they've even had a couple sacks in there. They've calling Arsante Connors' name a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They've looked very comfortable. I mean, not allowing any points to the Ichabods here. And they did not allow many points to Northeastern State last week.
Yeah. It just shows it's proven how mobile these two linebackers are. Both Sears and Bivens have just been all over the place.
Only 10 points allowed to Northeastern State last week, and the Ichabods only allowed 7 points to Northeastern State in week 1. As 22 seconds left on the clock, Washburn punt team will come out. I do not suspect a fake here, Seth.
No, I wouldn't think so.
As they have the ball on their own 24-yard line. And it's 4th and 12. Kendall Sparks is the man deep for the Lions. As the punt is off, it's low. It's going to be a bouncer. It goes straight up into the air. Sparks is going to field it. He's at the 40. He's at the 50.
There you go.
He's at the other 40 and gets out of bounds with 11 seconds left. And we talked about his returning skills. That is a 25-yard return by him. And now Najee Jackson, who had a Hail Mary last week at the half and made it a touchdown against Northeastern State, he'll have a chance to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, why not go for it? You're on the 40-yard line, and I'll tell you what, Kendall Sparks kind of reminds me a little bit of Darren Sproles the more I watch him play.
Also, Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah,
on special teams.
Yeah, just the way he moves. It's just he's so little and he's so fast.
He's shifty.
It's just funny watching guys twice his size try and make a tackle on him, and he goes unfazed sometimes.
It's outstanding. It's outstanding. And like I said last week, Seth, I know you weren't with us. It was me and Adam, but we were talking about they're at the 50-yard line, and Jackson threw it all the way downfield. It tipped off a defender and into Deshaun Warren's hands for a touchdown. Would love to see this again in back-to-back halves in Coach Stuttgart's second home game.
Yeah, and you'll see Deshaun Warren again on the field on the close side of the screen.
As I suspect a Hail Mary. Not many deep, actually, for Washburn. Looks like they might bring a little bit of a rush, but they're only bringing 3 guys. Jackson's got some time. He sees Prince on the outside. 5 seconds on the clock, or 6. I don't know if the game clock was stopped a little early on that play. Little home field advantage, as you were talking about, Seth.
Well, since they got the first down, the play clock is stopped.
Lindenwood,
so once they move the chains, the clock will stop again, which will. Well, I guess they have a timeout now, but.
Right, but I'm saying Prince was still in the air when that game clock stopped.
Oh, wow.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. We can we can thank the home field for that one.
I mean, 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Don't think there's going to be a huge difference here. It looks like they're going to send the kicker out for an attempted field goal. It'll be a 40-yarder. Try to give the Lions a 13-0 lead. And if you don't remember, the Ichabods will receive in the second half as they elected to defer in the first.
And it doesn't go unnoticed. That was a great play call by Jed Stewart and the offensive coordinator, Dusty Hovorka. That was a terrific call. Even if they didn't have any timeouts, they were all rushing right up to the line. So even when the clock did start again, they probably would have been able to spike it. And now they're in great field position for a field goal.
6 seconds to go. It's Travis Sproul on the field to attempt the field goal. 10-0 Lions lead. trying to make it 13 and a 40-yard field goal. Seth, I don't know if I've seen a 40-yard field goal since I've been enrolled at Lindenwood. I'm a junior now. This would be a first. Lions student section, great snap, great hold. It's got the distance, and it's good into the student section with 1 second left on the clock. What a boot from Travis Sproul.
You were saying, Scott?
I was saying, as the Lions take a 13-0 lead with 1 second left, we're going to see a kickoff from Barrett Foley, who's been a great kickoff specialist. I expect probably a squib kick here. But what a boot from Travis Sproul to give the Lions a 13-0 lead. 2 field goals in the game today.
This is the first time I've seen Travis Sproul, I'll be honest, and I think he could go for 50 if he really had to.
I mean, he made that kick into the first row, the guy in the bear costume, or it could be a lion costume. That makes a little bit more sense. First row of the student section, he caught it right next to the guy that's holding the sign that says, "We want Bama." I mean, you see him right there in the bottom right of your screen. He's the guy that made the catch next to the guy with the face paint, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an outstanding kick. And like you said, that's probably at least another 8 yards.
I was going to say the same thing.
I mean, that was a good snap, a good boot. I mean, credit the holder on that one, too. Michael Crowder did a great job. Because that's half the battle.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, the Lions outfit doesn't go unnoticed. That's pretty spiffy.
1 second to go in the half.
Huge momentum booster for the Lions right there. They really needed that score.
That's back-to-back games that they've scored points as time expired with 1 second to go in the half. As we'll see a little onside kick here as that's going to be taken by the Ichabods, and he's going to be brought down. He actually fumbled the ball, but he still has it, as that's how the half will end. All Lions in the first half, 13-0. They have the lead here. As what a first half by them. I mean, they were just outstanding. There was no element of the game that I wasn't like, wow, Lindenwood definitely won that part of it. Because, I mean, they've looked great. From start to finish, their special teams has been good, their offense has been good, their defense has been good. And this is what Coach Stuger did last week. He talks to the guys on the field before they go into the locker room. He's probably trying to calm them down, tell them exactly what he's thinking right now. And then when they go to the locker room, they meet with their either offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, the wide receivers coach, and they kind of split up in the ways that they're talking rather than Stuger just talking over everybody. As they're going to walk off the field now. And Seth, 13-0 lead, 2 field goals. I mean, we saw a lot of things, no turnovers in the first half. What did you think of that?
That was pretty impressive. I did not think that the defense would hold the Ichabods to a 0-point lead. They're really setting the tone. They're what's making the offense say, okay, well, if they're making these stops, what can we do to make our team better?
And a total shift the pace, because last week they only allowed 10 points at home. Week 1 they allowed a lot to UCO in their loss, and their offense shut down in the second half in week 1. And ever since that happened, ever since the start of week 2, offense has been on fire.
Yeah, and it may have been while Central Oklahoma's defense is terrific. I think really Lindenwood's offense has really just found a plug. They've really flipped the switch, and their momentum's just really carried them so far.
And I agree. Lindenwood leads 13-0 here at half. When we return, it will be the halftime, and we will get right back to you here on the Lindenwood Sports Network.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Coming up on Lion Pride Sports, Coach Jed Stugart and the football team pick up their first win of the year.
Plus, Marina Bach gives us an inside look at the women's volleyball tournament this past weekend and why the team skipped their scheduled trip to Florida.
And to wrap it all up, we'll take a step into the Lions' Den and talk about some of the top performers for the Lions this week. Welcome to Lion Pride Sports. I'm Tom Hartbeck.
And I'm Seth Close. Coach Jed Stugart takes the field for his first home game at Harlan C. Hunter Stadium. Early in the game, in the first, Kalen Campbell takes the handoff and finds his way into the end zone for the first. Lions up 7-0. First possession of the second quarter, Najee Jackson finds Kendall Sparks for the 2-yard touchdown. Lions are up 14-0 at this point. Najee Jackson steps around the defender and throws an absolute bomb over the top to Deshaun Warren right before the end of the half. Lions are up 21-0. Just heaves, and now Jackson heaves up the pass to the end zone, and it's caught for the score. It is 28-0. Let's take a look again at that, folks. With two defenders going in for it, he comes down and makes a play. Lions are up 28-0 at half. NSU finally gets a field goal in the third to make the score 28-3. Later in the quarter, Shaquem Wharton takes the pitch around the end and walks in for a touchdown. Lions are now up 35-3. Campbell then takes the handoff around the right side and runs all the way through NSU's defense, making them look silly with the jukes and the jives. All the way from the 20 to the 10 for the score.
Men's soccer is still struggling early on in the season. The Lions couldn't edge past the Christian Brothers Buccaneers, losing 2-1 last Sunday. Michel Gantz scored the lone goal for the Lions in the 18th minute. Lindenwood and Christian Brothers were tied after Xavi Lau scored the equalizer in the 30th minute. Both teams' offenses failed to score in regulation, and the game headed into sudden death overtime. Buccaneer midfielder Jordi Jordovich netted the final goal in the 97th minute. The Lions fall to 1-3-0 on the season, while Christian Brothers picked up their first win and hold a record of 1-3-0.
Lindenwood's women's soccer team takes on the University of Central Missouri Friday. The Lions are 3-1 for the season, while the Jennies are 4-0 for their season. The game is at UCM at 7 p.m.
It might be getting colder, but the college golf season is starting to heat up. Lindenwood's men's team traveled to the Central Missouri Invitational in Warrensburg, Missouri last Tuesday. At the Mules National Golf Club hosted the 3-round event. The men finished the first two rounds with scores of 298 on both days. Junior Vente Van Doren was the highest performer for the Lions, finishing in 17th place. The Lions finished off the last round with a score of 301. This landed the Lions in 12th place among the 20 teams at the event.
Women's golf also finished off in 12th place. The Lady Lions traveled to the Indy Fall Invitational in Carmel, Indiana. The Lady Lions started off strong with a first-round score of 325, but struggled in the later rounds. Yolanda Ratzinger finished tied for 22nd place and scored a 77 and 76 in her 2 rounds. They will play again September 24th and 25th at the MIAA Fall Preview in Maryville, Missouri.
Lindenwood Tennis aced their first event of the season. Both men and women's teams traveled to the Wheat State Fall Classic. The men's team reached the finals in 4 of the 5 singles brackets. Senior Andre Messine won the number 1 bracket in the singles in straight sets. Michelle Gasperi and Tudor Henna captured the title for bracket number 5. Duos for the women's team, Teresa Milichakova
reached the quarterfinals of the number 1 singles bracket, and Alexis McCarty was able to make it to the number 2 bracket quarterfinals. The men will be in action Saturday, September 16th against William Woods. The women will travel to the ITA Central Regional September 29th through the 30th. Up next, Marina Bach will tell us about the spontaneous volleyball tournament this weekend. Stick around to find out more.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
Finally, we found his assignment. He rushed through it. I wonder if he even learned anything.
I wasn't gonna get it right, so I just wanted to get back to playing my video game. At least I'm good at that.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free online resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Here you'll get personalized recommendations, practical tips, daily access to experts, and more. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org.
Ma.
In your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who once took care of you.
The Lindenwood women's volleyball team hosted the Lindenwood Challenge Tournament, home at the Highland Arena, September 8th and 9th. The team was scheduled to travel to St. Augustine, Florida, to participate in the Flagler Saints Classic. But due to weather advisories, the administration felt that the team should not travel, and this is what head coach Condon had to say about it.
And we just didn't want to put our student athletes in harm's way at all. So we decided the best thing to do was to pull out of that tournament. It's just a state of emergency in Florida, and it wasn't worth even risking putting them in harm's way at all. So.
Senior defensive specialist Ivy Reynolds was not upset with the location change. She was eager to get out on the court and play with her teammates.
We ended up going 2-2 on the weekend. We won yesterday morning against Bridgeport. They're out of Connecticut. That was a pretty good game. We swept them. Felt really good. We went in that night at 7 and played a really tough Augustana team. They're number 9 in the country. We ended up, we took them 5. This morning we came in, watched, we played UIS, Illinois Springfield. Hard fought set. We still took it in 3. It didn't look that great, but we're happy that we came out and kind of won. And then just now we dropped a set to UMSL.
Head coach Will Condon is excited for his first season here at Lindenwood, and he knows the great potential that his team can offer this year.
But our ability to adapt and change to some high-quality opponents isn't there yet, and we just haven't worked on it enough in practice. You know, the effort is there, but sometimes you have to change the direction of the effort, and that can be hard to do mid-match.
The women's volleyball team hits the road to Urbana, Ohio for the Fall Invitational this Friday and Saturday. Good luck to the Lady Lions this weekend, and back to you guys.
Thanks, Marina. Coming up, we enter the Lions Den to highlight the top athletes from last week. Spoiler alert, we might see more of that guy, Najee Jackson, after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. You're going to get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh, yeah. Yes. So much fun. Mwah. So wet.
I dare you. I dare you to change the world. Yeah, you. getting that college education.
I dare you to be somebody important.
Like be a teacher or a reality TV star.
I dare you to stand up here.
To call the shots.
To be a role model.
An inspiration. An innovator.
To be a teacher.
Think you can change my life?
Make me excited about science like you.
Have a career that really means something?
Then do it.
I dare you.
And as you just saw, Lindenwood's women's volleyball coach Will Condon has a big impact on the Lady Lions this season. The women are 6-2 to start this season and are poised for a breakout season as well. This is no surprise though for Condon. He's had success at every stop in his career. His last university, Armstrong State, is honoring Coach Condon's accomplishments, and that's after 9 years and 256 wins at Armstrong State. He'll be inducted into their Hall of Fame. That's the big thing there. Condon led the Pirates to 4 regular season titles and 4 PBC tournament titles. He was named the PBC Coach of the Year twice while he was there and led the Pirates deep into the playoffs, making the Elite Eight in 2008 for the first time.
We have another familiar name entering the Lions' den this week. Michelle Gans of this men's soccer team was awarded the MIAA Men's Soccer Athlete of the Week award once again. Gans found the back of the net for the lone goal in the 2-1 loss to Christian Brothers. The freshman already leads the team with 3 goals on the season.
And Andre Maassen went for men's tennis. He won the #1 bracket in straight sets against all 4 opponents. The senior will be a key part of the tennis team's success this season.
Lindenwood football's new quarterback, Najee Jackson, threw for 3 touchdowns and led the Lions to a 49-10 victory over Northeastern State. Jackson is a junior from Lincoln, Nebraska, who previously played at Iowa Western Community College. He's a threat not only as a passer, but also as a runner, and he will have to be a big contributor for the Lions to succeed in the near future.
Well, that's it for Lion Pride Sports. I'm Tom Hartbeck.
And I'm Seth Close.
We'll catch you next time.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, they can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I understand. I know it's not your typical resume.
Okay, well.
But candidate. But I've been working double shifts just to pay for books. I've been raising my 2 little brothers. I'm determined, driven, motivated. Isn't that what you're looking for?
Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org.
Welcome back to the Lindenwood Sports Network. I'm Scott Manziera. Alongside me is Seth Close. And Seth, we saw a great first half from the Lindenwood Lions, and we're going to see an even better one this half as they already have a 13-0 lead as we're moments away from starting the second half. Seth, what are you looking for this half?
Well, you got to start off with the drive. That's going to happen right at the first play of the second half. Really, if Washburn can get a big stop, then you're looking at a momentum change completely in favor of the Ichabods. And if you're a Lions fan, you're just hoping that Sparks breaks through for a big play, or they get some sort of good field position, because it seems like the team with any of the momentum for the offense is the one that's going to come out on top.
I'm going to have to agree with you there, and Washburn is going to get the ball first this half as they trail 13-0. They're really failing to start anything going on offense, and I know you already went through a lot of the statistics at the halftime show. It was a great job on 89-1 Lindenwood if you're listening. But the one that actually really struck me the most is the fact that Washburn only had 6 first downs in the first half. Doing a little math here, Seth. 6 divided by 2 is 3.
Yes.
So 3 first downs a quarter, 15 minutes to go in each quarter. So that's 30 minutes. Let's do some more math. 30 minutes divided by 3, so that's a first down every 10 minutes. And I'm assuming they're having more possessions than that. So I think for Washburn, they really need to try to get something going on offense. They need to do a better mixture of passing and running. They've been a much more passing kind of team, as Blake Peterson's 10 of 16.
Yeah, and the problem for Washburn's offense is that if the Lions' offense is if they're on the field, they run the ball. They constantly are making plays where the clock continues running. So if the clock is constantly running and your defense is out on the field, you're only going to get the ball for a couple minutes, which is really hard to get momentum going.
Oh, and 100%. And you saw how good the defense was from Lindenwood, and you can see yourself on the scoreboard as it's 13-0. Lindenwood's first half that they shut out somebody last week, which was the Riverhawks from Northeastern State, and they only allowed 10 in the second half. And the only reason they scored 10 points was a lot of the Lions' second and third stringers were coming into the game, so it wasn't against their starters. This Lions defense has really buckled down after week 1. I'm seeing a totally different team than what I heard on week 1.
Right, and they're proving that they can be a first-half offense right there with not only this game but the game last week. And, again, with the clock running, the Lions defense is constantly making plays up the middle, and they're getting to the quarterback, and they're not making the clock stop, which is good for if you're with the Lions, because with them having the lead, the clock is continuously running. And like I said, it's just hard for Washburn to get in any sort of rhythm offensively.
If your top corners, and when I mention top corners, I'm talking about Bakari Triggs and I'm talking about Ricky McCoy. If they shut down the outside like they did this first half, I'm looking at a 0 for Washburn. I don't know if they're going to be able to score because they've tried just to do those little 5-yard passes and little running action going, and it hasn't worked for them. They haven't gotten inside the red zone one time this game.
Yeah, Scott.
So Washburn's going to have a totally new look this half, I assume.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I would be very, very shocked if anyone got any reception yards off of Ricky McCoy. He's just playing on another level right now. He has been all over the field, and he's hyping up the other side of the team. You can see him jumping around and thumping his chest and stuff, and it's rightly so. I mean, he's really led the defense with not only him but outside linebacker Drew Sears.
I mean, and the whole defense has been outstanding.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know I'm preaching to the choir and just repeating myself, but I mean, there's nothing really else to say. I didn't see a single flaw from this Lions defense as the second half is getting underway. And as the kick is off inside the 5-yard line, it's fumbled. Bad start for Washburn as he's going to take it out of the end zone anyway. He still manages to get to the 25, the 30, his best return of the day. Almost looks like it's going to be a disaster. And the ball is down on the field, and the referee points in the direction of the Lions. Lindenwood will take over at the 30-yard line to start the second half. Has a flag on the play. I'm going to assume excessive celebration.
Yeah. Can you blame him?
I don't blame him, but that's but that's going to cost them. Instead of having the ball at the 30, it's going to be back to their own 45. And after I was just going to say Washburn had a great return.
First down, Lindenwood.
My bad, it's going to be a sideline infraction. So it's just a warning. So they're still going to have the ball at the 30-yard line. But like I was saying, Seth, they were going to have the ball at the 30. They fumbled on their own 1. As you can see a replay here. We're going to see him. He's coming down. He actually hits his own man and then gets tackled from behind. Oh, I don't know if that was a fumble, Seth. He was down. I'm looking at the replay here. He was down on the ground. We'll take another look at it. It looked like the ground caused that fumble. Great break for the Lions.
And you wonder if they can it doesn't look like they're going to challenge it just because it was such a ticky-tacky call, but this is a huge momentum killer if you're in favor of the Ichabods.
I don't believe there is challenging, actually.
Okay.
In Division II. But advantage Lindenwood to start the half. I mean, we talked a lot about the defense in the open, but Now we get to see the offense a little bit quicker than we thought as Jackson's in shotgun. He hands it off. Oh, no, he fakes the handoff to Wharton. He's all by himself. Gets down to the 25, inside the 24-yard line, pick up a 5.
And Jackson is so good at selling that fake handoff, going to the right side.
I mean, you heard me. He fooled me.
Yeah.
Did he fool you?
Yeah, he's quick.
He's very quick, and along Shaquem Wharton is also really quick, who ended up finishing the first half with 13 yards on the ground. It was a 100-yard rusher last week as Bendigo is in motion. Jackson in shotgun. He drops back to pass. Looking for his man. A lot of pressure. He goes down to the end zone. It's Mason Bendigo, and it's a little overthrown as it's going to bring up 3rd and 5 for the Lions. That was the tight end. First time he's been targeted tonight.
Yeah, we haven't heard much of Mason Bendigo so far, but he's a big target right there, and he had him open. It was just a little bit overthrown by Jackson. Good effort.
Alvin Houston on the coverage there. Actually, Mason Bendigo and Alvin Houston went at each other in football in high school as the Eureka Lafayette matchup sprung from them, and they were both playing in those same games. So a little bit of a remake here as Lindenwood is facing Washburn right there.
That's a great input. These guys have seen each other. They know what they're capable of doing.
That was a great job by Alvin to push Bendigo to the outside, forcing a bad throw by Jackson. And this time it's caught to Warren. Great strike from Jackson. First down for Lindenwood. 10-yard gain.
And Deshaun Warren's really stepped up this game. He's not only been doing it with receptions, but he's also, you see him with the jet sweeps, and just an overall play has just been really good so far.
That's just Warren's second catch of the game, but it feels like he's made a much bigger impact than that. 2 runs for 27 yards, including that big one that set up a field goal. As Jackson, a little broken down play, it looks like he's still going to try to find a man, Prince. And it bounces off of Prince's hands and hits the deck as it's going to be 2nd and 10.
And as you said, that was kind of a broken play there. It looked like Prince was about his 3rd option.
Ineligible
right there,
downfield, number 68 offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Illegal man downfield. There was a flag in the play. Apologize for not letting you know. Bringing up 1st and 15 now. I know it will surprise you a little bit, Seth, but I'd rather have 1st and 15 than 2nd and 11.
I was just thinking the same thing because they can get these 5 yards back easy.
And that gives you a little more momentum for 2nd down as well.
Right.
So 1st and 15 for the Lions at the 21-yard line. Drive started in the red zone after a turnover on the Washburn special teams. It's Wharton on the outside. He gets inside the 20 and picks up about 3 yards. Now it's going to be 2nd and 12. Well, Seth, I guess we were wrong. I guess we'd rather had 2nd and 10. But it's okay. 13:40 to play in the 3rd quarter. Beautiful night here at Harlan-Hunter Stadium. A little humid. Great turnout from both teams, though.
And credit to Washburn defense on that last play to swarm outside. They got outside on the field quick. Good play.
2 receivers lined up on the top of the screen, none on the bottom. 2 receivers in the backfield. The one is Sparks as he's going to get the handoff. Wharton is his lead blocker, and he misses a block. But Sparks still picks up 5 yards, brings up 3rd and 8 inside the 15. And we've already seen the kicker, Travis Sproul, nail a 40-yarder, so this is right around his range. As if they don't gain any here, it will be a 31-yard field goal. Hopefully they do. Bendigo, the tight end. Jackson in shotgun. Wharton is the running back in the game. Warren and Sparks on the close side of the field. Prince on the far side. One-on-one coverage throughout. Jackson gets the snap. Feels some pressure. Throws it outside. Little high over Sparks. And we saw Prince knocked down in the end zone. A little bit of a collision. Knee-to-knee contact as both players are limping. But it's going to bring up 4th and 8.
And a great stand by the Washburn defense there. They were going up against the Lions offense at about their own 25-yard line and only gave up 15 or about 11 yards. So
this will be a critical field goal for Travis Sproul if he can make it. 31-yarder. He will go to 3 of 3 on the day if he makes it. Good snap, good hold, good kick. It's up, and it is good. 16-0 Lions lead with 12:31 to play. We'll be right back after this short break.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B. Work with what you got. Or C. Show solidarity.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
What if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Welcome back into the Lindenwood Sports Network and 89-1 The Wood. I'm Scott Manziera alongside Seth Close, and we just saw the Lions nail their third field goal of the game. But Seth, still a two-possession game, and the Lions may need to start scoring touchdowns when they get inside the red zone.
Yeah, field goals are great and all, but you got to get touchdowns by the end of it. And Washburn's, it's worth noting that the Washburn's defense average against per game is 13 points, which the Lions' offense have already exceeded that. So the Ichabods are going to have to try and get somewhere up in the 20s to try and get this comeback. As stingy as this Lions' defense is, I don't know how exactly they're going to do it, but they're just going to have to catch a couple breaks. Tongue twister there. And then really, you just can't have those uncharacteristic mistakes like the kick returner did on that last play.
And that was the first turnover of the game. We haven't seen the adjustments that the offense has made for the Ichabods because of that turnover on special teams. As we'll see a boot here, it'll be a little bit of a shorter one to the 15-yard line. It is taken to the 25, the 30. He's off to the 35, the 40, the 45, the 50. It's only the kicker to stop him. He gets stiff-armed into the ground. That'll be the punter, rather, as I'm not sure why the punter was taking the kickoff rather than the normal man, which is Barrett Foley.
Yeah,
the
it's
punter,
interesting.
Michael Crowder, took that one.
Interesting, but that's exactly what you want if you're for the Washburn Ichabods. They really needed that because their offense has kind of just been not really in rhythm the entire game. They haven't really found an identity, so it's good for the special teams to get something going.
As you see the stiff arm all the way to the ground, Michael Crowder just got pummeled.
Yeah. It's not easy being a kicker or punter. You're on the field, so.
You're right. 35-yard line is where the Ichabods will take over, and I expect that maybe they start using Michael Shirk, the fullback, a little bit more, as he's the lead blocker here behind the running back, but nowhere to go is Michael Stewart.
And that looked to be Jonathan Harris, the defensive end for the Lions, first one to make that play. They really just stuffed the whole middle up.
12 minutes to play in the third quarter. Lions with a 16-0 lead, still only two possessions. As we've seen a lot of different offensive looks from Peterson and the offense. See what kind of adjustments they made this half. Or for this half, I should say. As Peterson gets it, and he fakes the handoff, but Jonathan Harris does not fall for it as he's the one that brings him down for a short gain. I'll bring up 3rd and long.
And that was Harris and our boy Asante Connors there. That was another good play. They're quick for their size. They can really bounce out to the outside, and Peterson's just had no luck so far this entire game on doing that. And now they got the crowd on their back here on this 3rd and long.
As it's at the 34-yard line, a little out of field goal range for the Ichabods. As we saw this a little bit earlier when Jonathan Harris, or I should say Antonio Davis, had the sack for the Lions earlier this game. Let's see if the Lions can get another one here. As two receivers lined out wide, Peterson is in the shotgun. He drops back to pass. He looks for his man in the middle of the field, and it is a little overstretched. No flag on the play. Monty Hamlet on the coverage, and it's going to bring up 4th and long. I'm wondering what the Ichabods are going to do from the 35-yard line.
And that was good play by Monty Hamlet there, the defensive cornerback for the Lions. I thought he might have grabbed the receiver's hand a little bit there, but when you try to undercut a route like that and you make a good play, then you'll most likely get away with that call.
And the Ichabods offense staying on the field for 4th and 10 at the 35-yard line. As the receiver looks confused, the tight end looks confused for the Ichabods. Not sure what play call they're running. I expect a hard count here.
They got to get touchdowns.
6 seconds to go, and they're going to be going for it. Peterson drops back the pass. He pump fakes once, finds his man in the middle of the field, as it's going to be the first time the Ichabods get inside the red zone, as the catch was made by Will Hamilton for the first down.
And really just an easy route. It seems like they've had most of their luck offensively in the middle of the field.
That'll be Hamilton's first catch of the night for the Ichabods, and a big one, the longest pass that we've seen from the Ichabods, and the biggest play from scrimmage, 20-yard gain. As this time they'll try to go back to the running game, and it's going to pick up about 3 or 4.
And so far you've seen a fumble on the kick return. You've seen a kick return go for 60 yards. You've seen an offense take a drive an entire 60, 70 yards, and you look up and it's not even 5 minutes into the quarter. So there's a lot going on so far. And you're bringing up all the special teams. You got to include field goals. I mean, there's 3 field goals for the Lions. Special teams playing a huge part in this Lions-Ichabods matchup. As Peterson goes for the fade in the end zone, McCoy does not turn around, and it looks like it is caught, and the signal is good. It will be a touchdown for the Ichabods. It is 16-6 with 10 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the third. Touchdown catch was by James Brania-Hop. That was a great little pitch and catch right there. The defensive back for the Lions looked on the wrong side of his shoulder, and by the time he could turn his entire self around, it was too late.
And that was a perfect throw by Peterson. I mean, that was great. And it looks like Ichabods are going for 2. As we talked about, still a 2-possession game. If the Ichabods can convert here, it'll be a 1-possession game.
And as a quarterback in a play like that, you're always taught to throw it on their far side of the shoulder, so that it's that much harder for the defender to get it.
As there is one man in the backfield with Peterson. He's rolling out to his right. He's scrambling. It might be quarterback sneak. He finds his man, and it is caught. It's the same man. Brania-Hop catches the 2-point conversion. 16-8 Lions lead. As 10 minutes and 2 seconds to play, we're going to take a short break right here on the Lindenwood Sports Network.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Welcome back here on the Lindenwood Sports Network and 89.1 The Wood alongside Seth Close. I'm Scott Manziera. Lions lead 16-8 after Washburn converted on a 4th and 10 from the Lions' 35-yard line, and then found his man in the end zone, which was James Brania-Hop for the touchdown. Then found Brania-Hop again for the 2-point conversion, and that's how this half has started. A field goal and a touchdown with a 2-point conversion. We're not even 5 minutes in, Seth.
Yeah, and there's a huge momentum booster for the Ichabods right there. They really couldn't have anything going offensively up until this point, and this may be their turnaround that they need.
And I hope you're wrong, Seth, but it may be the turnaround that they need, as there is a lot of game left. The Lions had a huge comeback last year. They were down 34-7 at the start of the third quarter last year, and they made it a 34-29 game as Sparks with a great return gets it out to the 30-yard line. There's a flag on the play, as we'll wait to hear what the referee has to say there. But like I was saying, it was 34-13 going into the fourth quarter last year, and Lindenwood made it 34-29. So I would expect to see the Ichabods
during the return, holding number 26 receiving team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul, first down Lindenwood.
So a hold on special teams for Lindenwood is going to prove costly, as now their drive will start inside the 15-yard line. Looks like it's going to be at the 11.
Yeah, and if Lindenwood taught Washburn anything last year, it was to show to them that you're never out of it. There's always a chance to come back, whether it be a 20 or 30-point lead. So I'm sure Washburn has a very confident look on their bench that they can do this. But it's going to be tough. They're going to have to rely on their defense, which they have been so far the first 2 games, and that's really kind of what their forte is to fall back on the defense, because they've been incredible the first 2 games.
And Tyler Hogan, Kai Collier, and Justin Smith in the game as wideouts for Lindenwood. all did not play in the first half as Kaylin Campbell gets the carry for about 3 yards. As interesting, Coach Stewart's going to start off the second drive with some receivers that we have not seen tonight. They made a big impact late in the game against Northeastern State, and they're all very, very good.
Yeah, Justin Smith notably is one of them. He got a 75-yard pass last game by the backup, Max Mailer.
Yeah, Myler had a great throw to him. As this one's handed off to Campbell. Pickup of about 2. It's going to bring up 3rd and long, back-to-back carries. As you see the receivers for Lindenwood on the sideline. And that's Deshaun Warren, Kendall Sparks, Dontrell Prince. It's going to be trips right here for Lindenwood. 3rd and 6 from their own 15. Najee Jackson's going to have to make something happen here for the Lions to get a first down. As he does a little bit of a hard count, sees who's coming. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in the box for the Ichabods. As they bring 6. Quick slant out to Kai Collier. Looks like he's a yard short, but a great spot from the referees. Looks like it's going to give him the first down, and they do. Great route from Collier, his first catch of the night.
I think that may have been from last half when they didn't give him the spot on that one. That may have been a make-up call. Who knows?
Who knows is right. As Jackson in shotgun, Bendigo the tight end. He hands it off to Campbell. Campbell tries to break one off, but it's sniffed out, and he's brought down hard by the defensive end, Brad Breckenridge, in the backfield for no gain.
And yeah, that was great pocket presence by Najee Jackson, just on a 3rd and 10 with your back against the end zone, just to get it out, just to sling it. And he knew the blitz was coming. You could tell.
Oh, and it did. As the Ichabods have done a good job of mixing up blitzes and disguising coverages very well tonight. While the Lions have been in the red zone 3 times and came away with 3 field goals. As Jackson drops back to pass. Looks for his man deep. It's Mason Bendigo. It's one-on-one coverage, and another safety comes over the top, and it's a little outstretched reach for him. As Bendigo is going to come off the field after that play.
He looks to be hobbling a little bit back to the huddle.
Well, it looked like he was going to come off the field. As we're going to take another look at this one, as Bendigo trying to get to it and just comes up a little short, tries to outreach, has an Ichabod player fall on top of his knee.
Yeah, and Scott, that was a lot of hand action. The defensive back for the Washburn is fortunate to not get that call, but also at the same time, our tight end was grabbing him as well.
May have been a little uncatchable as well. As Jackson's in shotgun, all receivers are set outside. He's very poised in the pocket. He's got Warren in the middle of the field, and Warren catches it, but it was very early contact from the Washburn defenseman, and that's DJ Olmstead on the hit. I mean, he hit him square in the middle of the back. No flags called. He was early. It was a high hit. That is crazy that there was no call. I mean, that's what they're trying to get out of football, is that exact play.
Mm-hmm. That was definitely a penalty.
Dangerous play as Warren comes off the field and is sitting on the bleachers in front of us, talking to a trainer as Campbell gets the handoff, tries to get outside, and he breaks one tackle, breaks another one, gets about a 6-yard gain before running over a Ichabod defender. Brings up 2nd and short.
Yeah, and I hope Deshaun Warren's okay on that one because, like you said, that is exactly what they're trying to get out of football from serious injuries because he really was just a helpless defender. And credit to him, man. He still made the catch. That was terrific. He got down to his knees and caught that.
I think Coach would have been a little unhappy had Warren dropped it.
Oh, yeah.
And there was no flag called. A lot of penalties we saw in the first half for pass interference on the Ichabods. As Campbell will get a fake handoff, I should say. Jackson takes it on the read option, gains about 3 yards. And Seth, you can talk about it a little bit. As you played D-back in high school, right?
Yes.
You were a cornerback. You guys kind of were taught that if you get called for pass interference on one play, you're not going to get it back-to-back plays, right?
Yeah.
So you can be a little bit more touchy?
Yeah, that's really like the sports philosophy. If you get away with one, you're probably not going to get away with the other. But
yeah, I mean, I think that if he gets called on that, or if you get called a lot on it, eventually the refs can't call it every time.
Exactly, yeah. They say there's a flag in every single play in football. It's just whether they see it or not.
You are right. As Jackson and then shotgun takes it back. He drops back to pass. He's actually going to run with it, and he gets hit high by Derek McGreevy at the line of scrimmage. No gain in the play. Is going to bring up 4th and 4 at their own 46. Looks like the special teams unit will come out for Lindenwood. They haven't come out yet, but now they come off.
And a great stand by the Washburn defense right there. They got a little bit of momentum from their offense, and they're going to try and get a score in here. It's crazy for as much as the Lions offense has done today, how well they played. You look up and they're only down by 8. They're only up 8 points, and it's a one-possession game.
3 field goals. Now, I'm very happy that all field goals were made.
Yeah.
But those field goals could be touchdowns. As we'll see if it proves costly down the stretch, as a fair catch is called by the Ichabod's return man. Will Bolster fair catches it at the 9-yard line. That's where the Ichabods will take over with 5:06 to play in the third quarter. Last time out, Ichabods had the ball at the Lions' 35-yard line to start, converted a 4th and 10 after not gaining any yards in their first 3 plays of the drive and of the half, and had a great 25-yard completion to Holster and ended up scoring on that drive.
It would be a great time right now for Lindenwood's defense to make a stand and just keep the Washburn Ichabods just back in their own zone.
I mean, that's the only time the Ichabods have been successful is when they've started with the and the ball in the Lions' side of the field. As Peterson goes deep here, he's got one man, Ace Rogers, running after him, and it is out of the reach of Kerry Woods, Peterson's favorite target.
Yeah, and Kerry Woods has just been all over the place today. He's got some good speed and good hands, but that was good. They've been double covering him lately, and safety came a little bit late to try and make that play, but nonetheless he got there in time, and it forced Peterson to throw the ball a couple extra yards too deep.
I think if that ball was any shorter, Ace Rogers might have come away with it.
Yeah, he hasn't been tested yet. That'd be interesting to see.
It's the first deep ball I've seen from Peterson. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10. Peterson fakes the pitch. Goes outside. A lot of Lions D-men sniff it out, but they still gains 5 yards on the quarterback keeper.
And that was great defense by the Lions D just to migrate all the way to the right. You could just see them shift the line and move to where Peterson was trying to go.
And we can see Coach Duger trying to get the crowd loud too, as he's throwing his hands up, trying to get these fans into the game as it's 3rd and 4 for the Ichabods inside their own 16-yard line. Nobody left at halftime, even though it's very hot. There is still a ton of people at Harlan C. Hunter Stadium, as it's going to be a tight end screen, and he's going to be held up at the line. Going to be interesting to see the spot, and the referee is going to give it to him. It's going to be a first down for the Ichabods, even though he was hit initially at the line and pushed back. Forward progression will overrule.
Yeah, the Lions tried to get him back behind the line from the first down, but unfortunately they got forward progress in the first down.
As you can see, his feet were over the line. And the line being the 20-yard line. It's the 1st and 10 for the Ichabods at their own 21-yard line. Peterson gets the ball in shotgun, throws another screen pass on the outside. This time he is hit and held by Drew Harlow, the defensive end, to stop him.
And a great play by Harlow to get out there. He's normally in the defensive end area, so he's trying to go for the quarterback, but he stayed with the scheme and dropped back a little bit, and he really made the big tackle right there. If he doesn't wrap him up on the legs, then who knows how far the running back for them goes.
We'll see Cowan Street check in for C.J. Bivens at linebacker. It's Street and Sears in the middle of the field, as this is a handoff on the outside, as an outstanding block by one of the Ichabod's offensive linemen totally pancaked the D lineman of Lindenwood.
And it looks like we have a defensive lineman for the Lions walking off the field. Looks like he hurt his left arm. That looks to be Johnny Clayton. Hope he's all right.
Doesn't look like he's going to a trainer right now. As Peterson gets the quarterback keeper, good blocking by the Ichabod's offensive line, and Peterson's off. Ace Rogers is chasing after him. It's Ace Rogers against Peterson, and Ace Rogers brings him down at the 15-yard line. That's good enough for a 40-yard quarterback keeper by Peterson. The last 2 plays, that offensive line for the Ichabods look like they've woken up and just taken it to the front 4 of the Lions.
Yeah, Scott, and if you've noticed, all their plays that they've gotten big yardage, it's all been on the left side of the field. They've been constantly trying to wear that side down. I think they're finally getting to him.
As 2 receivers lined out wide for the Ichabods. Running back in the backfield, it's Peterson. He's going for the end zone, one-on-one coverage, and Kerry Woods cannot make it past Monte Hamlet, or excuse me, it's Jordan Perry on the outside. Good coverage.
Personal
by Perry.
foul.
Brings up second and
Face
10,
mask,
flag
number
on the play.
92, defense.
That might be defensive.
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I think
Because
it
the
was roughing
helmet
the
was
passer.
off for the foul, the
On
player may
defense,
remain in the
15-yard
game.
penalty.
I was actually just going to say, Perry turned around his head just in time, and usually guys will get caught with pass interference when they don't turn their head back in time, but he turned it back just in time, and unfortunately there was roughing the passer. I wasn't sure who saw that.
10-yard line is where the Ichabods will take over. Last time they were in the red zone, the only time they've been in the red zone, they came away with points. Now it's 1st and 10 with the ball on the 11-yard line.
And the Lions need to make a stand here.
Peterson in shotgun. He's going with the quarterback keeper. He breaks the tackle and then gets brought down hard, and that is the freshman Drew Sears. Brings him down for a 1-yard gain.
And it's no coincidence that Drew Sears was at the right place at the right time. Again, he's just been terrific so far.
I mean, he is just hawking after whoever has the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, just 2 linebackers on the field, and one of them being a true freshman, and that true freshman being Sears, that's incredible.
Yeah, I'm sure he learned a little thing or two from Connor. He's playing like it.
He really is, and missing Connor Harris this season. He was at a all-time D2 tackle leader as Peterson is running out of the pocket, has nowhere to go, and he gets thrown to the ground out of bounds. Does not look like there's going to be a penalty, and it's an incomplete pass as well. But Nick Granberry, as soon as Peterson went up in the air, he threw him to the ground out of bounds, and Peterson's up and he's walking and he's fine, but man, that was a nasty hit.
Yeah. Granberry really came with the heat there. He's quite a personable guy. I have class with him, and he's all-around really good guy, good player.
3rd and long for the Ichabods. They converted the last time they had a 3rd down. As you can hear the crowd getting excited for defense. 3rd and 8. Peterson this time fakes the handoff, tries for the quarterback keeper. He's got room on the outside. They're trying to get to him, and they go low on him, and it's going to be a 4th and 3. He gets a 5-yard carry. Arsante Connors making the tackle on that play. As I wonder if the Ichabods go for the field goal here. I think that they're going to send the special teams unit out. I'm a little surprised by this, Seth, because you have it 4th and 2, and even if you kick the field goal, you're still down a touchdown.
Yeah, and there's no promise that you're going to get the ball back on our side of the field again.
Yeah, and the Lions offense gained 30 yards last time, but wasn't able to reach across the field.
Yeah.
If you pin them inside their 5-yard line, you're probably getting the ball back.
And they went for it on 4th and 10 last drive.
I mean, regardless, you have to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
As we're going to see the kick by Washburn. Good snap, good hold, good kick. It's up and through the uprights, but we're going to see a penalty on the play as the kicker went down. I'm not sure if it's running into the kicker or roughing the kicker. Let's see what the referee has to say.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Number 2, defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
And we're going to see the defense come back onto the field for Lindenwood as Bakari Triggs is hit with roughing the kicker.
That's tough. It's tough to hold back when you're that close to thinking you can block the ball, but, man, that is an absolute no-no right there in that situation. It's a one-possession game.
That's heartbreaking for Lindenwood as now to made it 16-11. Now it's 1st and goal from the 2-yard line for the Ichabods offense, who have been very, very hot. We'll see the I formation from Peterson. The Lions have been very good against the I formation tonight.
The Lions defense is going to have their teammates back here. They're going to have to make a stand. It's going to be tough.
As we'll see the I formation, Peterson trying to get the call from the sideline. Play clock at 15 seconds. 1:06 to play in the 3rd quarter. Peterson under center. He hands it off to his running back. He cuts upfield. Drew Sears hits him at the line of scrimmage, and he does not get there as he is crunched on the play by a group of Lions as well. Sears leading the tackle as it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line.
You could see David Knox, the defensive tackle for the Lions, pumping up his sidelines, trying to get him going. They really need to make a stop with these next 2 plays. They have to be fatigued now. They've been on the field for quite some time this half.
Yeah, it's been a long possession for the Ichabods as they've come a long way, 83 yards to be exact, as I formation again from the Ichabods. See, this is what I would be running if I was a coach, but it really has not been working for the Ichabods. I'd be wondering if I see a play action here. as Peterson hands it off again, tries to get through to the end zone. No signal yet, and both the referees put their hand up. It's going to be 3rd and goal. As we'll see Brian Beal check into the game for Lindenwood to try to clog that middle.
The Ichabod's offense is almost looking as if they're questioning the referee right there. A handful of them put their hands up in the touchdown signal.
And how big would this be if the Lions could hold them here? That's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. You'll have to see what happens here in the 4th. At the end of 3, Lions lead 16-8. You're listening to the Lindenwood Sports Network.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, that can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
Welcome back here on the Lindenwood Sports Network and 89.1 The Wood as 4th quarter action is about to start. I'm Scott Manzier alongside Seth Close. And a big goal line stand here for the Lions after a roughing the kicker penalty gave the Ichabods a fresh set of downs and a 1st and goal from the 2. It is now 3rd and goal from the 2. What are you thinking here, Seth? QB sneak?
You know, it seems like every time we make a guess, we're wrong. So I'll keep my mouth shut on this one. Let's see how it plays out.
We're not the offensive coordinators. This is why we're in the booth. I'm saying play action.
I was thinking of running back over the top. Play action, that's a good one.
And the only reason I think play action, just because the running back hasn't worked, we also haven't seen Michael Shirk have a carry this game. Maybe you go to the fullback. It's all going to come down to that front line push by the Lions as they have an 8-point lead.
Lions keep bringing it all.
Tight end in motion. We'll see a handoff. No play action, and he's stopped, but he carries the momentum after the hit into the end zone. It's going to be a touchdown for the Ichabods. 16-14 with 14:57 to play in the 4th.
That touchdown was scored by Michael Stewart. That was a terrific second effort right there. At the first contact of the hit, he was at about the 2-yard line. He muscled his way in there and shed the tackle. Yeah,
I thought he was going to be marked down, but he ended up to keep going into the end zone. At the start of the 2nd quarter, we saw a touchdown for the Lions. At the start of the 3rd quarter, we saw a turnover by the Ichabods. And now at the start of the 4th quarter, we've seen a touchdown by the Ichabods.
And this is what happens for the Lions offense. As great as they've played, if you can't put the ball in the end zone, you're stuck getting field goals. The other team's going to catch up eventually if they're getting touchdowns.
16-14 Lions lead. The Ichabods are on the field for a 2-point conversion. They have a man in motion. It's a jet sweep. He goes in the outside, and he punches it in. Tie ball game. 2 touchdowns by the Ichabods and 2 2-point conversions. Would have been 16-11 had there not been a roughing the kicker against the Lions.
And you know, Scott, how we talked about how going into the half, the Lions just had all the momentum. Their defense had just led the entire pack the entire way, and the offense was just clicking. That momentum is now gone. It's anyone's ball game.
And we talked about also that there was a 2-possession game, and now we've seen Washburn tie it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been incredible what we've seen from the Ichabods, because at the start of the 3rd quarter, they turned the ball right over, and then they got the ball in the 35, and they had 4th and 10 after not even getting a yard to start the half, and then they converted on 4th and 10, and ever since that, it's been all Ichabods.
Yeah. Credit to them. They kept their heads up. You know, they could have very well, when they fumbled in that opening part of the second half, they could have very well said, well, there goes our chance of getting any kind of momentum going. And their offense has really clicked. The poise of Peterson has been awesome. Can't say enough about him. He's a good player.
Back to receive for the Lions, Deharius Brown and Kendall Sparks, not Bakari Triggs back there, who we're normally seeing after a long defensive possession by the Lions. Guess they're trying to give him a little bit of a break. And we saw the receivers for the Lions actually in the second drive. They weren't even out there. It was the second strings that was out there. So they're going to be fresh here for the fourth quarter. It's a tie ball game, 16-16. As it's going to be one heck of a fourth quarter if you're tuning in. And the kick is off. It's going right to Kendall Sparks. He gets the ball on the 1 yard line. Decides to take it out. He gets to the 20 before he breaks the tackle and gets to the 25. That's where Najee Jackson and the Lions will take over. .51 to play in this game. In the last 5 meetings between these two teams, the only 5 meetings I should say, every one's been decided by single digits, and the last 4 by a single touchdown. So this is exactly the same thing we've seen every time these two teams have meet up against each other.
It's always a good one when these two meet up.
14:51 to go. Najee Jackson on the field for the Lions. Kendall Sparks in motion. He hands it off and he cuts up the field for a 2-yard gain for Sparks.
And while this second half may not seem like it, this is Lindenwood's revenge game. They lost 34-29 against the Ichabods last season. So they're trying to get back in the swing of things and win this one.
Now it's in Topeka. This time it's in St. Charles. As Deshaun Warren will get the carry, and he gets hit right at the line of scrimmage and brought down hard. That was Austin Tillman on the stop. Before that, Warren's 2 end arounds had gone for 27 yards. As after we saw Warren's last catch, he got hit right in the middle of the back by a DB. This time he gets drilled by the linebacker for no gain.
And to quote John Madden, boom. That's all you can really say on that one. I mean, he lit him up.
We're actually hearing a lot of chatter from the Ichabods fan section on the far side of the field. As boom we saw, and as John Madden would say, according to Seth. As it's a play action, Jackson throws it off to Wharton. Wharton's facing 3 Ichabods and just can't get away from him as he's hit for a loss of 1. 4th and 5 for the Lions from their own 30-yard line.
And this is trouble for the Lions right here. Now they're playing in the hands of the Ichabods, and the Ichabods, what they can do is they can make you go up against their defense and say, okay, well, you want to put our backs against the wall and try and put us on defense. We're going to come at you with our head. And, you know, we're going to try and do whatever we can to get our offense on the field. That's exactly what they've done so far.
We're going to see the Lions punt the ball here as Michael Crowder gets the ball, and it's a good punt. It's very high. Ball goes to the 35-yard line. It's fair caught. Where Monty Hamlin actually smokes an Ichabod on the screen you saw. But we're going to take a short break here. There's actually
media
a flag
timeout
on sports. Oh, excuse me. It's going to be a media timeout. Excuse me. I'm sorry. 12:58 to play here in the fourth quarter. We'll take a short break here on the Lindenwood Sports Network.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. My name is Harvey Lauer. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Welcome back into the Lindenwood Sports Network and 89-1 The Wood. Lions and Ichabods are tied at 16 with 12:58 to play in the fourth quarter as Blake Peterson, the sophomore, is leading the team out onto the field for the Ichabods, and he as a play action. He's looking to throw the ball deep, and he gets smoked by Jonathan Harris in the backfield. Another sack by the Lions, this time going to Jonathan Harris.
And if there's one guy who's stepped up so far on the defensive side this second half, it's been Jonathan Harris. He's been really, really mobile, and he's looking over to his bench right now saying, let's keep it going, boys.
And we saw the offensive line just totally manhandle that front four for the Lions last possession and their touchdown, maybe even the last 2 possessions. Great to see a sack by Harris on a 4-man rush.
Yeah, that's what they needed.
As there's a man in motion, this time it's an end around. It's going to be a pickup of about 7. Matthew Williams on the carry. 12 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. It's going to be 3rd and 10. The whole sidelines for Lindenwood trying to get the crowd amped up.
And this is one of those games where it can take one big play to swing the momentum your way, and that's all it takes with it being knotted up at 16 apiece.
It's basically a 0-0 game, brand new game, as the Lions held a 13-0 lead at the half. As Peterson tries the hard count, there is 5 seconds to go on the play clock. He's going to have to get this one off. 2 seconds on the play clock, 1 second. And he gets it off at 0 seconds, no flag on the play. This time it's to Corey Woods, who tries to stretch it out for a first down, but the referee says, I don't think so. It's going to be 4th and short at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, it was a good play call.
Last time we saw the Ichabods from 4th down, they converted on the Lions 35, ended up turning into a touchdown, and then back-to-back drives and scored a touchdown. And it looks like they're going to be going for it here. Peterson still on the field. 11 minutes to play. They're in the I formation. 10 seconds to go on the play clock. Peterson gets the play. He's under center. Lions bringing everybody. They're trying to get the hard count. It doesn't work. 5 seconds to go on the play clock. Does not look like they're going to get the play off here. 1 second, 0 seconds, and the Ichabods are going to have to take a valuable timeout with 10:49 to play in the fourth quarter.
Washburn, first charge.
And I think they were going for the hard count, but Peterson thought he was going to get a play, so he wasn't really trying to get him to jump very quick. As I assume I assume they're still going to go for it, because if they were going to punt it, they just took the delay of game and then had to punt 5 yards back.
Yeah, I think they're going to try and go for it still. They've been going for it on 4th down almost the majority of the game, other than the first few drives. So whether it was trying to just get a hard count and it didn't work, or there was a little bit of the fans noise getting involved.
I saw Coach Stugart talking to Bakari Triggs there. As Triggs is not in the ball game here. Oh, there he goes. He is in the ball game. Looks like he's playing a little bit of a safety role here, because the Ichabods are on an I formation. There is about 10 guys in the box for Lindenwood. Drew Sears in the middle of the field. Man in motion for the Ichabods. Here's the snap. It's off to the running back, and he's going to get the first down and more before getting brought down by the linebacker, Nick Granberry.
And that was pretty much an old-fashioned, here it is, can you stop it right there? Because, like you said, the Lions defense came in with about 10 guys in the box to try and make that play. The only one that wasn't in the box was the lone safety.
Nobody had any penetration on the side for Lindenwood, because Stewart was running downhill very quickly.
Stewart's a big guy, too.
A play-action play for Peterson. Tries to go downfield. He's got a man. Not sure if his feet stay in bounds, and the referee says no, it's out. Almost a very impressive catch by Brania Hop, the man with the touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
I thought he was going to catch that, and he tried to throw his foot down right at the very last second, but was to no prevail.
Only have to get 1 foot in college, and he almost had it. Almost a spectacular play. It seems like the Lions are playing a lot more zone, Seth.
Yeah, and then these Ichabod wide receivers are starting to figure out what part of the zones they aren't covering, and that's where they're heading towards.
Might see a bubble screen in the bottom half of the screen, but we're going to see a jet sweep as he's the man running around. He gets about an 8-yard gain. Looks to be short of the first down, and by he, I mean James Letcher Jr., as that's the second time we've seen him for a jet sweep. Anytime he checks in the game, Lions got to be watching for that. Not a very big guy.
Yeah, there's
very
really
quick.
There's really no trickery to their play calls. Their play calls are pretty straightforward. It's just whether or not the defense for the Lions can capitalize, really.
Yeah, because like we've said all night that they've had a lot of different formations, but even though they've been different formations, each formation's had like their specific go-to play that they've had.
Right,
and
there's
they've
only
run
3 or
that
4
same
plays.
one. Exactly. It feels like they've been running in those same 3 or 4 plays all night. As the man in motion is Hamilton. This time it is a play action off to the left. They try to go to the deep man downfield. He gets over Ace Rogers, and it's caught. Tackled by Bakari Triggs inside the 15-yard line. And that is Samaj Johnson, his first catch of the night.
And there's that play action we were looking for the entire night. You knew it was coming. That was a big man downfield that made that catch.
Yeah, Johnson is a big boy, 6'3", 257 pounds. As the Ichabods, every time they've been in the red zone, there has been a touchdown. Now it is 1st and 10 from the 11. Peterson gets the snap, play action. Been rolling a lot of play action tonight. He's trying to roll outside. Arsante Connors wasn't going to let it happen. Almost picked off by Monte Hamlet, but he swats it down. As it's 2nd and 10 with 8:57 to play in this 4th quarter. The game is still tied up.
And the Washburn offensive play calling has really, really been attacking Hamlet. They've been trying to make him be as active as possible, and he's risen to the occasion a few times, but I think he could have got an interception on that one, but he played it safe and got one hand on it instead.
With how much ball hawking cornerbacks that Lindenwood has, I'm surprised there hasn't been an interception today. They've had some chances.
Or this season, for that matter.
Or this season, you're exactly right. As I formation for Washburn, they hand it outside to the tailback. He gets outside, he gets to the 10, gets to the 5 before getting brought down by Drew Sears. That was Zach Willis on the carry. Third down, you can hear the crowd starting to get loud.
You can tell the backfield for the Ichabods are really starting to get comfortable. You see them switching in their running backs. There's been about 3 or 4 that have been in there so far this drive.
8:27 to play, third down here. Inside the Ichabods kicker's field goal range. As this time it's a quarterback keeper, and it's worked out well for the Ichabods, but this time it doesn't. Sniffed out by Nick Granberry, and he makes the tackle along with David Knox to make sure that the Ichabods do not pick up another first down on a quarterback keeper.
Great play by Nick Granberry, the senior out of SLU High School. He actually, I don't think Peterson saw him. Peterson was trying to use his running back as a blocker and was looking to the right of him, and Granberry came from the left side.
7:50 to go in the game. Kicker made the field goal his first time before he was roughed by Bakari Triggs. This will be a 22-yard field goal, a good snap, a good hold, and a good kick as the Ichabods, with 19 unanswered points, take their first lead of the night with 7:38 to play. We're going to see what the Lindenwood Lions can do in offense right after this short break here on the Lindenwood Sports Network.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
Finally, we found his assignment. He rushed through it. I wonder if he even learned anything.
I wasn't gonna get it right, so I just wanted to get back to playing my video game. At least I'm good at that.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free online resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Here you'll get personalized recommendations, practical tips, daily access to experts, and more. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org.
Welcome back to the Lindenwood Sports Network. I'm Scott Manzier alongside Seth Close, and if you're listening on 89.1 The Wood as well, as the Ichabods just took a 19-16 lead with 7.5 to play in the 4th quarter. And Seth, the Lions running game has been their strong suit all year, and now when you're trailing in the 4th quarter, I don't know if you can go to the running game as much. Might have to be a little bit more in the passing game.
Yeah, it's like we said at the pregame that they're going to have to spread out the offense like they did the first game. That's really been, they really kind of got a little bit more conservative in the second half, and it's come back to bite them.
That is true. We haven't seen Jackson throw the ball very much. A great kick all the way back. It's going to be returned. And it's to the 10. He's to the 20. He's to the 25. He's to the 30 before running into his own man. And that is the returner, Trevor Jones, as the Ichabod's Lions getting a little carried away at the sideline. Lions will still have the ball at the 32-yard line. Good return by Jones.
And we know what this offense is capable of doing for the Lions. They're always quick and mobile, but players change as the game goes on, and when it comes down to crunch time, some guys get the nerves and don't play to their full potential and all that. So this is really going to test them now. What can they do? Who's going to shine?
I think Deshaun Warren, Kendall Sparks, Dontrell Prince, all outstanding wide receivers. And Najee Jackson's proved he's been a great quarterback, as this is the first time he is facing this kind of deficit at home this year. Jackson rolls out to the left, looks for his man. It is Kalen Campbell. Picks up a gain of 3. Kendall Sparks, excuse me, not Kalen Campbell. Sparks was in the backfield.
And Sparks could have probably gotten a few more yards on the play, but unfortunately Najee Jackson threw a ball a little bit low to him, so Kendall Sparks did the smart thing and just fell on it and went out of bounds.
And that's important for the first play of the drive, to get some yards, get a little bit of momentum, even if it's only some yards. Better be safe. As Bendigo is in motion, Jackson gets the ball, faces pressure, and this time he's going to run the ball. We haven't seen him run very much tonight, as he's going to pick up a gain of 3 before getting hit low by a linebacker of Washburn. As it's going to be 3rd and 4. Big third down here, Seth.
This is huge. This may be the game.
6:39 to play in the fourth quarter. Mason Bendigo lined up at the bottom of the screen. One running back in the backfield to protect Jackson. They're bringing 4. This time he throws it outside. It's Dontrell Prince. He's got the first down and more. This time it'll be a 9-yard completion to Dontrell Prince.
And who better to step up in this moment than someone who is normally a tremendous player and has just kind of had an off game today. Dontrell Prince, the senior right now, just terrific route.
Good job by Prince to get open, and that zone defense for both teams is proving to have wide receivers wide open. As Jackson back in shotgun. This time he hands it off to Campbell. Lions running game has been great tonight, and it continues. He gets a 6, 7, 8-yard gain, it looks like, as it's going to be 2nd and short.
Kalen Campbell, who's been quiet in the second half right now, it's good picking up a little bit of chunks of yards. This is good. This is going to keep the defense out there and wear them out a little bit. And it's short yardage. Everyone here and there is good, but you do need to get that big play at some point in the drive.
And the Lions defense, more importantly, I think, is actually getting a break.
Right.
Jackson in shotgun, hands it off to Campbell. Campbell shreds the tackle, and he gets the first down and more. Gets inside the 35-yard line as he's had back-to-back 8-yard runs, and it's really sparked this offense and sparked this crowd.
And Scott, I know I've said this before, but I'm just impressed by how much agility Kalen Campbell has for his size. He just can hop from one side to another so well, and he's shifty.
And that's so important, because once you have the passing game established in a game where you're down in the fourth quarter, and you have confidence to go to your running game, because the defense becomes more worried about the passing game.
Yeah, they have 2 things to worry about.
And now it's Jackson. He's looking downfield. He's got a lot of time. Now he's running out of the pocket. He's looking for his man. It's the backup slot receiver as it goes in and out of his hands, as he was going to have to make a diving catch. Now it's Tyler Hogan. We saw Kendall Sparks check out of the game in the last play.
And he had his go-to receiver, Deshaun Warren, right behind him, but he kind of just threw it in that general area. I was hoping one of the Lions would come down with it.
He had a lot of time on it, got flushed out of the pocket. Offensive line for Lindenwood has not gotten enough credit for either one of us. They've been outstanding tonight.
Yeah, terrific.
Giving Jackson so much time to throw. A lot of seniors in this offensive line as Campbell gets the carry and doesn't get a lot of yards. It almost looked like if he would have went left, there was a lot of running room over there.
Yeah, that was huge, but
hindsight, it's 20-20 from the booth, though.
And he has to hear it from the coach. We don't if he makes that decision. So
you're right. Anytime a running back tries to abort the mission and try to go the other way and gets brought back, probably gets an earful.
It's the one thing I don't miss.
As Prince and Bendigo lined up far side, it's Hogan and Warren lined up on the other side. Now Prince in motion. Jackson in shotgun, drops back to pass, pump fakes, finds his man, Prince, and he's open. It's one-on-one into the 10-yard line. He breaks another tackle. He's still going, and he fumbles the ball into the end zone. I cannot see who has it. Washburn's trying to say they do have it. As the referee is trying to say it's a touchback, I think. As Prince had the ball all the way to the 1 yard line before it was stripped.
By the defense.
Unbelievable.
Touchdown.
And it's going to be Washburn's ball. I've seen our replay this. Yes, it was punched out at the 2 yard line. That was DJ Olmstead on the punch out. Prince was 2 yards away from getting into the end zone before he lost it.
Scott,
that's heart-wrenching.
I thought he was diving for the ball. I thought he was diving in celebration because he scored.
No, we just saw the replay. Great job by the control room to get that replay out quick, but oh man, that is a real heartbreaker if you're a Lindenwood fan.
Man, and just as Deantrell Prince got something going, that was a terrific run. He broke off 2 tackles and really was being the leader right there in that drive. He got a big 3rd down conversion too, right around midfield. That's a tough break.
And we saw a lot of his teammates over here patting him on the back, trying to keep his positivity. Akil Williams is trying to talk to him, and Najee Jackson, 2 leaders in the offense. But we'll see Peterson go with the quarterback sneak, as that's been working really well tonight. And he gets thrown down by C.J. Bivens. Bivens was says enough of that quarterback keeper stuff.
And as I'm watching the sidelines, good for Akil and Najee to consult his teammate. You know, obviously you don't want to be put in that position.
The Lions can hold him, and yeah, as you saw the replay again, just so close for Prince to be in the end zone. Oh man, incredible play. Great play by DJ Olmstead, though. I mean, to punch that out. A lot of skill in the Ichabod defense as they lead by 3 with 3:34 to go. Ball in their own 20. As this time it's a handoff. Drew Sears has him and hangs on to him as it's going to be a 2-yard gain. 3rd down for the Lions. As you see all the coaches on the sideline trying to get the team pumped up. You see the team trying to get the fans pumped up. A lot of people here at Harlan Stadium. Biggest play of the game with 3:10 to play, 3rd and 2 for the Ichabods.
Without question, the biggest play of the game. If they don't stop them, it's over.
Still have 3 timeouts left, so maybe they still have some time, but you definitely want to try to stop them. Only man back is Bakari Triggs. They're in shotgun right now. Now it's Ace Rogers and back. Peterson drops back and goes to the quick slant route, and they were too far off the ball, as that is an easy catch for Jace Williams as they pick up a 1st down with 2:45 to play.
And as great as the defense and the defensive play calling has been so far this game, that's a questionable call to have your defender, your secondary 5 yards back on a 4th and short or 3rd and short.
Darius Williams on the tackle was just a little off the ball. Just a good job by Peterson to stay poised in the pocket. There was a lot of people coming at him.
Yeah.
As they're just going to milk this clock. 5 seconds to go. I formation for the Ichabods. As it gets hands off to the tailback, and he is going to gain about 3 yards before getting pushed forward to about 4 yards. As 2:10 to play, the Lions will take a timeout. Drew Sears on the tackle.
Timeout.
And if somehow the Lions
Timeout.
can't get the ball back, they're not
Lindenwood,
going to have any
first charge.
timeouts left after this. So they're going to have to just keep moving and stick with the no huddle formation.
We will hopefully get to see Jackson try to go for the 2-minute drill. He's going to need his big man, Dontrell Prince.
It'd be awesome. It'd be just almost poetic justice for the Lions offense to get back on the field and get at least an opportunity to try and win this game. Because that last drive they had was deserving of a win there.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
It did everything right, just 2 yards away. It was a great catch by Prince and even better defensive play by DJ Olmstead.
Yeah, and here we have Prince, who is a senior right now and is one of the leaders on the team, who has kind of just been kind of off a little bit going up until like the 3rd or 4th quarter, and then he just hit a switch in that 4th and that last drive. He had a huge, crucial 3rd down conversion, and that run was terrific. Just shows how good of a player he is, and hopefully the defense can make a stand here. That's all you can ask.
See the cheerleaders trying to get the fans pumped up. It's going to be 2nd and 3. The scoreboard has it. As the Lions desperately need a stop on these next 2 downs. The tailback in the game is Zach Willis, and he gets checked out now from Mikael Stewart. as you got to assume it's going to Stewart on this play, and then maybe you have a chance at a play action next play. As there's a man in motion, it's actually going to be a jet sweep, and those have worked well for the Ichabods, but this time it doesn't. Drew Sears snips it out. A no gain in the play. It'll be 3rd and 3 again. I mean, you got to credit everybody in that play.
Timeout
on the defensive side.
Lindenwood,
Triggs forced him in.
charge.
Sears chased him down and tackled him. I mean, oh my gosh.
Valuable team effort.
And a timeout for Lindenwood as they're down to 1 timeout.
And give the defensive line credit, all the credit in the world for what they've done so far. They have played terrific, and what better time to make a stand than now.
2:06 to play. Another exciting Lindenwood Washburn game, as each game has been decided by less than a touchdown in the last 4 meetings. And the Ichabods lead the all-time series 3-2.
And I can tell you right now in this huddle for the Lindenwood Lions defense, what the defensive coordinator, Jamie Marshall, is telling them right now: look for all the curls, look for the run up the middle, look for anything. But know that they're going to try and do a curl like they did the last time. They were just in this position 4 or 5 plays ago, so they're going to have to make some sort of adjustment here, but they're not going to be able to get away with playing cover 2, cover 3 defense right now. They're going to have to put their cornerbacks up on their man and make a move.
And it looks like they're going to be in I formation. We see Shirk in the game as a fullback. This I formation has not been very successful for Washburn tonight, as the crowd is getting very loud. The team on the sideline is trying to pump everybody up. We're going to see the play here. Peterson under center. He hands it off. Oh, no, excuse me. It's a play action on the outside. It's Arsante Connors trying to go for him, and Corey Woods tries to make the catch, and they're going to say he makes it, and it's going to be a first down from the far sidelines with 1:57 to play, and he went out of bounds. The clock will stop. Oh, man, what a great cutback against Jordan Perry on the outside.
That was terrific route running. 110% worth.
Looked like he was going to go deep, and then he just completely stopped and came in. Arsante Connors was chasing down Peterson because I think Peterson wanted to run for it.
Barring a miracle or mishap, I think this one's over.
1:57 to play. Lions down 3 with 1 timeout left. Peterson takes the snap. He hands it off, and his man goes down after a 5-yard gain, and that's Stewart on the carry. Lions do not call a timeout here. It's worth mentioning, in Coach Stewart's career, when his team has been leading at half, they're 45-2.
Holy cow.
This would, if the Lions do fall to the Ichabods tonight, it'll only be his 3rd loss in his career when leading after halftime.
That shows you the heart that the Washburn Ichabods had coming into this game. I mean, they could have, like I said, they could have kept their heads down after that fumble to start the second half. Their offense came out clicking. As
Stewart gets the handoff, he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Timeout with 1:08 to play and 3rd down. Hey, Seth, I'm full of these unique stats. Here's another one for you.
Timeout.
In Coach Jet Stewart's career,
3rd and final.
when his team scores less than 19 points, he's never won a game. 0-9. Lions right now have 16 points.
Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 8 seconds.
So I guess it makes a little more sense now as to why they
1:08.
couldn't keep the lead.
Yep, and 19-16 right now, the Ichabods lead. With 1:08 to play, the Lions have no timeouts remaining. And the Ichabods will most likely try to go for a first down here instead of taking a knee. But the Lions, theoretically, if they can stop them, will have about 25 seconds to go. As they're huddled up discussing what is next for their defense.
And if you're a Lions fan here, all you can hope is that hopefully they can just shake this game off and keep their heads up through all this. You know, I know it's a tough loss here, but I mean, they made a tremendous effort to try and come back to that last drive, and you know, hopefully they can turn it around next week when they play.
Oh, Seth, it's not over, buddy. It is not over. As it is 3rd and 4, the 1:08 to play. and shotgun is Peterson. They might be throwing the ball here, as the Ichabods are going to take a timeout, as now they have one remaining.
Timeout, Washburn, second charge.
1:08 to play, as I guess they didn't like the look that Lindenwood was giving them.
Yeah, it looked like they had a different scheme going right there. It was not their perennial 4-3 defense. They stacked up a little bit more. It'll be interesting to see what they're going to do here. If they're going to try, again, this is the third time that they've been on a 3rd and 5 predicament right here for the Washburn Ichabods. So now everything's into play. They did a play action the previous time they were at 3rd and 5. Before that, it was a handoff, or it was a curl rather. They've been doing handoffs on 3rd and 5 multiple times. So the book's open for this one.
Not a lot of penalties this half either for either team. I don't know if we've had any penalties this half, to be honest. We had a lot of holdings and pass interferences on Washburn, but it's been a relatively clean half other than the roughing the kicker penalty, which is what I was getting to, Seth. That would have made the game 16-11 instead of 16-16, which made it a 16-19 game. So the Ichabods would have had to go for a touchdown there. I was hoping that play is not going to come back to haunt them. Now the Ichabods in I formation as their tight ends are moving to the other side. Lions defensive line shifts over. Peterson throws it off to the left, and it's going to be taken by Stewart, and he gets the first down and more, as the Lions are going to be unable to stop the clock. Stewart is still running. He's going to get all the way inside the 5, and I'm not sure he did get to the end zone, as it's going to be a touchdown for the Ichabods. What a run by Stewart to end the game, it looks like, as the Ichabods will take a 25-16 lead. All 25 points have come unanswered by the Ichabods offense with 56 seconds to play.
And one of the defensive ends for the Lions defense had a chance to make the play right around the line of scrimmage. Unfortunately, he missed them, and that was ultimately the dagger right there.
What a run by Stewart to get all the way down there. But, I mean, after he got past the first down, that's the way the Lindenwood defense was playing, was if you get past the line, you only got one man to beat.
Right. We stack them.
Extra point, good hold, good kick, good field goal, as it is 26-16. The Ichabods have the lead with 56 seconds to play.
And what we saw from the Lions in the first half is kind of what we saw with Washburn in the second half. This game is all about momentum. If you can just get a couple plays or a couple calls to go your way, it can change the entire complex of the game.
And the Lions will look to go back on offense, now trailing by 10 with 56 seconds to go, no timeouts. Seth, I've seen a lot of good things from Lindenwood tonight.
I did too.
Even though that they're down 26-16 with less than a minute to go, I've seen a lot of things that I liked. And the first thing I want to start with is I liked what I saw from Najee Jackson again. After the first week, he was shut down in the second half by UCO. But this week, I still have seen great stuff from him. I've seen good stuff from the entire offense.
Yeah, the 0 points in the second half for the Lindenwood's offense does not speak for them. That's not
100%.
That is not how they played. They definitely deserved a touchdown, maybe even 10 points in this half, which would have been the lead or a tie game. And like I said, they just got to keep their heads up. They didn't do that much wrong to where they need to look at themselves and try and redo something or readjust. I think the play calling and the everything else was great. It just kind of came down to the execution.
Yep, 3 field goals inside the red zone for Lindenwood that could have ended up in touchdowns. Unfortunately, they did not, as the Ichabods have a 10-point lead with just under a minute to go. And the kick is booted, and it's a short one, actually. Just goes over Bendigo's head, and it's taken at the 28-yard line before a knee was taken by a Lion player, and that was Calwan Street. As Jackson is going to try to pull off a miracle for the Lions as they're down 10 with no timeouts and 55 seconds to play. A miracle will include a touchdown and onside
clock
kick.
To 56 seconds, 5-6.
It's possible.
It is possible. Ten-point game as Jackson and Campbell come back on the field. Justin Smith, one of their biggest receivers, also in the field for the Lions. As it trips right. The Ichabod's not pressing coverage at all. Jackson gets the snap, drops back, three-man rush, and he gets smoked from behind, as that is not what we've seen from the offensive line tonight. Just a three-man rush forces pressure against Jackson. His offensive line is actually one of the best in the MIAA. They have allowed the fewest sacks in the first 2 games of the season of any team.
Yeah, that last play was pretty uncharacteristic for them. They've played a stellar game this entire game, though. The way that they played should be why they should have a few more points on the board.
Please reset the game clock to 53 seconds.
A couple things just went Washburn's way, and it's tough for the Lions.
Sometimes everything doesn't go your way. It's been one of those nights for Lindenwood in the second half after a 13-0 lead. They have not allowed a single point in the first half against any team at home this year. As Jackson gets thrown and throws it off, but he gets hit as he throws. And Jackson's taken 2 shots in back-to-back plays, as it looks like he's getting frustrated. As the clock is stopped, it is 3rd and 10 for the Lions. Ichabod's defense spread out, just rushing 3 guys, have everybody else dropping back into coverage. 2 receivers at Jackson's left, 2 to the right, 1 running back in the backfield, probably going to block this time. He goes out for a route. Jackson throws, and he gets hit while he throws, and it's a incomplete pass. Intended receiver is Justin Smith. As now it's 4th and 10 with 45 seconds to go. And the offensive line is going to help Jackson up, who is still on the back of his heels as he stands up now. With 4th and 10.
He took a big shot right as he released that ball. That was why it was a little low to the intended target.
And that's frustrating, you know. Jackson's coming back on the field. They're down 10, and they're bringing 3 guys, the least amount of guys they've rushed all night, and the pressure is getting it to them. That's got to be frustrating as Jackson, too, as he throws the ball outside, and he gets blocked down by the defensive end, Trey Parker, as that's going to do it. With 42 seconds left, it looks like Peterson's going to come take a knee, get into victory formation, and the Ichabods are going to win this one. Was so close, Seth. 2 big plays that stick out to me. The roughing the kicker penalty that ended up turning into a touchdown, and the Dontrell Prince touchdown was 2 yards away before it was hit out of his arm. Just, it stinks, man, and it's really not that Prince fumble is not his fault. That was a heck of a play by Armstead.
No, I thought he scored.
Absolutely, it was a great route by him too. I mean, everything that Prince did there was perfect. I'm not saying that it was a bad play at all, because he did great. The Triggs penalty, I actually didn't see him actually hit him. So I really can't comment. Did you see him hit the kicker very hard? Or
I didn't know. I was watching the ball go through the uprights when it happened. But like I said, when it first was made, the call was made, I just thought, man, I hope this doesn't come back to bite them or shoot them in the foot. And that was just kind of my worry there. Was anytime you have an uncharacteristic, especially a mental play like that, you just when you know you could have avoided it, it's always just hard to recover from a 15-yard penalty or something big like that, or a 1st and goal at the automatic first down.
That will do it here. 26-16, the Washburn Ichabods defeat the Lindenwood Lions. We'll have the post-game show for you right after this short break here on the Lindenwood Sports Network.
Neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Welcome back to Hunter Stadium as the Lindenwood Lions fall to the Washburn Ichabods 26-16, as you see the handshakes are happening right now, and they're just getting finished up as both teams' coaches will go talk to them. And Seth, just to talk to you a little bit about, to wrap up the game, the Ichabods were down 13-0, they only had 6 first downs in the first half, and we don't have the updated stats for the second half yet, but the offense totally turned it around.
Yeah, they easily doubled what they scored, and they kind of almost made the defense for the Lions look a little bit confused, which we didn't see that at all in the first half. They looked like they were completely poised and were going to make the plays.
And I think they did for a lot of the part, because when the half started, it was a fumble on special teams by Washburn, and the Lions took advantage, got a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then to start the first possession for Washburn, they got 4th and 10. They had no yards, and they went for it and got that first down. And then after that, it just took off.
Yeah, Scott. And we don't have the stat sheet for it yet, but what I do know is that what the difference was between the first half and the second half was Washburn they converged on their third downs. They made their 3rd and 5. They made their 3rd and 7 plays, and that's really what kind of decided it. Because even the plays that they made when they were on their own side and they made the 3rd and 5s, they ended up getting touchdowns or field goals off of it.
And Coach Stugart's team's 45-2 going into the game. When they led at half, the Lions had a 13-0 lead before falling 26-16 tonight. The Lions fall to 1-2 in the season. The Ichabods are 2-1. We will be back on the road next week, so we will not be here. But the Lions will be taking on. Lions will be on the road, I should say. They'll be taking on. One second, I'll get this for you here, Seth. But we'll talk about who they face next, right here on the Lindenwood Sports Network.